let's go.
Okay, let me turn this crap off. Okay, let's go back and forth here. Okay, beautiful. I think they finally stopped. It's time for some sweet emotion, everybody. Oh wait, we probably need to. Billy. I like that name.
Like,
yes. Yes. Yes.
Like
Yes. You can't even talk. Yes.
6 at the entertainment lawyer, Beverly Hills.
Best band ever.
we have this conversation every so often.
Well, they are the best band ever. Sorry.
This is a sports opinion show.
I don't.
Music sports.
Well, that's why we talk about it while the song is playing. You know, we can hear us.
No, they can
Yeah, I
hear
know
me
they can
online.
hear us. And mine
They
too.
can't see us because it's a starting stream too.
Things no
Killer doesn't
one
like that I do
wears.
that, but hey,
Hey, then killing his own show.
he does have his own show.
Does he really?
It's Killer TV, by the way.
Killer
On
TV.
Twitch.
So check that out sometime.
We was just talking about that, Killer.
Did she say lace panties underneath? I think she did.
I don't know.
Wow. I thought this was a family show. Iconic.
I know you're here. We was just talking about it. I just gave you a prop, bud. Or, you know, a shout out for your show. That you don't do very often anymore. Hint, hint, hint.
I'm going to abuse that bell tonight.
That's fine. I wasn't good. Holy shit, who the broke my mic?
You just now realizing your mic doesn't work?
No, my mic's like upside down and turned sideways and
Have I mentioned how much I love this song? Has that topic ever come up?
it's another day of wine and roses. In your case, beer and pizza.
Beer and pizza. Yeah.
Woo!
Luckily for me, my girl likes beer and pizza too.
Oh my god, I already got a freaking lost frame.
That took you just a little too far. Oh, I have a new nickname for her, by the way.
Uh-oh. The blonde oh, never mind.
No, the blonde bombshell is over. It's over. Which I like it. I thought it was a good nickname for her. But
Probably because I messed it up and called her the blonde bombshell because I couldn't remember her name that one day. I'm so sorry. I couldn't remember Kate.
it's alright, she'll get over it.
I already am.
I was too, right at the moment. Looking professional already. I guess it's time. I don't know how much time's left in this.
Yeah, get over there and get looking professional, man. Hola, people! Welcome to another production of Ferocious Funny Production presents the Iconic Drew and DiAmOnDbAcK Sports Opinion Show.
Is that all, Billy? It's never a good sign. Is that all, Billy? I've never heard that. Where's your glasses this week? Stop it with the serious thing. I can't take it.
I will not quit. Uh-oh.
Fun, Billy.
Been real fun, Billy.
It's been real fun, Billy. Call me anytime, sweetie. Oh, they're there. Oh, she says, honey, sorry about that. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ferocious Bunny Productions Presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show.
It does.
And it's good to see you, Diamondback. How's it going?
Good seeing you, man. Going good, going good. Traffic was a bear town coming in, but
Yeah, that's why we started a little bit late, because you got hung up in traffic.
lovely.
So that's all right.
I-71 was a parking lot.
Yeah, it was. It was, well, getting here on 270 wasn't very smooth either, but I got here before you this time, which is rare.
Very rare.
Normally you're sitting right here putting stuff together, being the IT man that you are, putting the show together behind the scenes and making us sound great like you always do. We appreciate that. And look good. And with us, that's not easy. The look good part.
Look good part?
Yeah.
We gotta
Hey,
look good?
you get two
I forgot to
updates.
tell me that.
You get two updates to keep track of tonight.
That's right, man.
OSU men's basketball. Right now they're playing Cincinnati Bearcats. What's going on in that game?
Guess what? I don't have it up yet.
Okay, well, you also got the Cleveland Cavs to keep track of, who just now tipped off at 7 o'clock. But the Buckeye men's basketball game tipped off at 6.
They were losing when I was
Yeah, I'm
listening
sure it's not
on-
going to be an easy game to win, but we'll see what happens here. Luckily in men's basketball, and even in women's basketball, one loss does not ruin your season, unlike it does in football, in college football.
It's 5-4. What
5-4.
Oakland.
Oakland Thunder ahead of the Cavs
Yep.
at this point. Okay, and what about men's basketball? OSU.
I'm getting there. Patience, my young Padawan.
Yeah, I have none. Do 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 do.
Come on. Good boy. Silly piece of crap.
See, folks, this is what we put up with as live radio, and I got to fill time now.
Mhm.
We're going to talk about a lot of interesting stuff tonight, such as should college players be compensated over and above what their scholarships pay them. We'll get into that in segment 3 of this show, and maybe carry it into a second segment because it's a pretty interesting topic, I think. So, meanwhile, he's looking up the score of the OSU men's basketball because basketball has kicked off. There was some top 25 games last night. Starting
Oh
next
my
we're going to
gosh.
get into some of that.
Yeah,
next
we're going
week.
to start doing some
So
sports
we're going to
updates. I'll
add
have
them
that
to the
update.
sports updates next
So,
week.
This week in Major League Baseball, nothing happened because it's
Right.
over.
And pitchers and catchers report in what, a week and a half?
Pitchers and catchers report.
And again,
soon.
mock baseball you want. NASCAR still rolling on right now.
And they started before then.
Right, they started before baseball. NASCAR the longest season of any of the sports. So, and I bring that up every time somebody complains about me watching football. Hey, football, you know what? There's only 3 more games for Ohio State football at this point, not counting the bowl game.
Yeah.
So it's almost over, actually. And we're still waiting.
We're still waiting. on this.
While
I gotta
we're
go
waiting,
slow.
speaking of Ohio State football team beat Nebraska 36-31. Next, this Saturday they play at noon at Michigan State. The game's on Fox. We'll talk more about that game when we get to the college football segment. But Ohio State did manage to win. And how's the men's basketball team doing, Diamondback?
I'm still waiting for the update.
So while he's still waiting, we'll move on. The Ohio U Bobcats. They beat Western Michigan 59-14. They next will play at Miami of Ohio, or as they like to call it at OU, Muck-Miami. And that game, it will be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So that's a big game. That is at Muck-Miami, excuse me. And that game will be there. But that game's again at 7 o'clock. And speaking of OSU men's basketball, right now they are playing Cincinnati. We'll have that update here in just a moment. But on the 11th, they will take on Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. That game's at 4 o'clock on the 11th. And that's their only game until next week. So how are we on that update, Diamondback?
And I can't find it, dude. They're not. I'm on the ESPN site and I'm looking for it, and I don't know.
Well, it's a top 25 update. That'll be on there easily.
I've got TCU and CSU Bakersfield.
Really?
Yeah, but no, nothing else. I'm dead serious, dude. This is weird.
So yeah, it's that is a little bit weird here as far as that goes, but we'll get that update eventually. I mean, the game's going on right now. Give me a break.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to it on the way up here.
So I don't know why. Well, I would have been, but I was on the phone. So, but we'll just do this. No, we need
Nope.
today. 7th. 25. Come over
NCAA
here.
men's. Okay, here we go. Let's try this. Here.
Bring up the Big Ten. I brought up the Big Ten, and in the second period, Ohio State is whomping on Cincinnati. This is awesome. 38-22.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
15:26 to go in the second in that game. Ohio State doing well. That's huge. They're up by 16 points right now. So we'll keep an eye on that game as it unfolds here.
Wait,
since
you,
we found
you
it.
just did math without Spencer.
Without Spencer, that's right, I did math. So, meanwhile, women's basketball. They lost to South Florida, the OSU women's basketball team. Lost to South Florida 71-47. Ouch. That's a bad loss.
That is a bad loss.
Next week,
For them.
they play on the 9th, they play Detroit at home. And then on the 11th, they get the pleasure of going to UConn. And I say that tongue-in-cheek, obviously, because that's not a fun place to go in women's basketball. UConn is usually pretty good. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe they'll go up and shock them. Who knows? But we're also bringing Ohio State hockey into this.
Yes.
Now that they've started their season. And so we're going to look at what they did last week and what they got coming up as well. And on the on October, I went back to the beginning of their season.
Did you?
I figured, what the heck?
Well,
I had nothing but time to go.
They were the preseason number one, first time ever being
Yeah.
ranked number one ever in the season.
Yeah, and they didn't stay there, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
they did not. Okay.
on October 12th, they went to Arizona State and won 3-2. And then also the following day, on the 13th, they went to Arizona State and won 3-0. But then they came home for their home opener and played UMass and lost 6-3. The following day, they beat UMass 3-1.
You're telling me Arizona State? I gotta go back. I gotta go back.
But Arizona State has a hockey team.
Hockey team.
Yeah, isn't that
They
incredible?
have an ice
Well,
hockey.
they also
team.
have the Phoenix Coyotes. I mean, well, now they're called the Arizona Coyotes, I believe.
Well, why can't they just leave it alone? I mean, it used to be the Phoenix Cardinals.
I don't know why they
They,
changed
they
it
have
back.
to jump in front of Atlanta in every which way. Good
Well,
God.
why not?
No, sorry.
Yeah, are you
Mini
ranting already?
Mini rant.
Mini rant. So then, anyway, on the 26th, they lost to Bowling Green 8-2. Ouch. But then they turned around and tied Bowling Green the next day on the 27th, 2-2.
Like they did your favorite thing.
Yeah, they did tie. Yeah, I didn't know there was a tie in college hockey. I'm not happy about that development.
You're not.
Did not know about that, and now I know it, so I'm not happy about it. Then they went to Notre Dame on the November the 2nd and won 1-0. And then they stayed at Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame the second day in a row, 2-1. Not bad. This weekend they're at Colgate on November 9th and 10th. And I got to tell you, folks, they're not home this weekend, but if you get a chance to check out college hockey, get your butt in the seat. I think Diamondback would really enjoy this.
Probably.
College hockey is fun live. It's really cool.
I'll probably catch a couple of those.
Yeah, they're fun live and they're less expensive, so it's a good alternative. I know the year that they were on strike, me and my brother went to several games. It's time now, folks. I totally forgot. I usually do this at the beginning of the show. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
And hopefully that line will be working tonight. We are on my Facebook page. We're all over YouTube, just for fun. And we're also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. And this weekend, it's time for the first annual WTMH Radio Music Awards Show. That's this Saturday, November the 10th, at the King's Art Complex, 867 Mount Vernon Avenue, Columbus, Ohio. Red carpet at 6, showtime at 7:30. Come and find out if Diamondback wins sexiest radio announcer at WTMH.com.
Not happening.
So he could. He got it 1 vote at least.
Yeah,
Laura voted for you.
I'm sure she did.
But that, well, I don't know. We'll see. See what happens after that. You know, see where that goes. So, but nonetheless, speaking of hashtag Save Your Crew, that's why I did the phone number then. On November the 2nd, the Crew beat the, I wrote the Wizards, I hope I was right, 3-2 in the knockout round. Yes, the Wizards. Isn't that the team from, I believe that's the team from Washington, isn't that right? Or am I wrong?
You're talking about DC?
Yeah,
DC United.
DC United, yes, that's what I said. The DC United, they beat them 3-2
and I don't have that up. I wanna go with that
in the knockout round.
Huh?
In the knockout round.
Yes.
And then in the first leg of the playoffs, they beat the New York Red Bulls at home, 1-0. Next week, on the 11th, they are at the New York Red Bulls. Diamondback will update us more on the playoff situation as far as the MLS is concerned during his update. Now, let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. I was waiting for a joke. I'm sorry.
You're talking about the Cleveland Clowns. Okay.
The Cleveland Browns lost to the Chiefs 37-21, but a lot of teams lose to the Chiefs.
This is, I'm going to go out and say, the 12th straight new head coach for the Cleveland Browns that has not won their opener.
Right. But he didn't get an easy opener.
No, he did not get an easy opener, but it's
That's
still...
why they should have waited until the break. We talked about that last week. They should have waited until the bye week.
Oh,
in my
man,
opinion.
could you imagine...
Give who 2 more games? What difference would it have made?
Well, I mean, they had already lost the locker room, and those guys would be at each other's throats.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, I understand it,
I mean,
Diamondback, but
that's-
at the same
that's the whole
time,
reason they did it.
to try to make a coaching change on a Monday and play the game on a Sunday, that's not easy. It's bad turnaround time, and you're one of the worst teams in the league already, playing one of the best teams in the league. I mean, the Chiefs are. We'll get to the power rankings later when we get to the NFL.
Chiefs were like,
the Chiefs
thank you for
are
the extra bye week.
phenomenal. Exactly. Yeah, we get to play with the Browns. Okay. Patrick Mahomes, stay home. No, I'm just kidding. He was awesome in this game. We'll get to that later. But meanwhile, they are next against the Falcons. We'll definitely talk about that game when we go into the NFL segment later in the show. I'm sure Diamondback might have a few things to say about that, about his Falcons getting a bye week. So. Next, speaking of bye weeks, the Bengals are coming off a bye week. They had a bye last week, so they didn't win or lose.
The fumbles?
The fumbles, yeah, the Bungles. Next, they get to stay home and play the Saints. And, of course, we'll talk about that game during the NFL segment as well. We'll certainly get into that. The CBJ on the 1st, November 1st, they beat the Sharks 4-1. Then they lost to the Kings by the same score on November 3rd. On November 4th, they lost to the Ducks 3-2 in overtime, so they at least got a point out of that. So if you're keeping track, on the road they got 3 of the possible 6 points. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Then they came home and beat the Stars 4-1, so that helps out. Next week they are, November 9th, they're at the Capitals. And then they come home on the 10th to play the Rangers. And then on the 12th, they are at the Stars. That's the Dallas Stars. So that's your CBJ update, the Columbus Blue Jackets update for this week. And, of course, we'll get to the NHL update here in just a moment. Since we're getting ready to do the Cavs update, what's the score in that game now, Diamondback?
You want on the Bearcats?
No, on the
Cavaliers.
Cavs.
The Cavaliers are losing 18-15.
All right. And also, to update Ohio State, they are winning. They're beating Cincinnati right now, 41-30 with 12 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the second half.
Yeah, I have.
You have it now? Okay. Well, that's good. We'll let you do it from now on, but I just had it still up there.
No, I
so
appreciate
anyway,
it because
Buckeyes are winning. I love it. That'll be a huge win for the Bucks. So, anyway, we'll see if they can hold on and pull that off. Speaking of the Cavs, though, this last week, on the 1st, they lost to the Nuggets, 110-91. And then on the 3rd, they lost to the Hornets 126-94. Ouch. On the 5th, they lost at the Magic 102-100. That was a competitive game, at least. Next week, which starts tonight, they play the Thunder. They're playing the Thunder right now at 7. We'll continue to update that game. On the 10th, they're at the Bulls, and on the 13th, they come home to play the Hornets. So that is your Ohio team updates. As the show unfolds tonight, we will continue to update the OSU men's game against Cincinnati and also the Cavs game. Any Ohio teams that are playing while we're on the air, we will update during the entire show, periodically, just to keep everybody updated on that. Right, Diamondback?
Sure.
So Diamondback's like, I guess iconic, if that's what you want to do. So,
all right. So
that is what I want to do.
All right.
You've got something to bring up.
I got a little something, a little political.
Yeah,
we're not getting political on this. This is just a very interesting fact that I heard earlier.
Yeah, I heard this too, but go ahead.
They're in Nevada, the Nevada State Senate. They had a guy that was up for election for the state senate, and he owns a brothel.
Yeah.
Well, this is not the funny thing that he got elected and owning a brothel.
Right.
The funny thing about it is he's dead. He's been dead for a month.
Dead.
Dead.
Dead is.
It's worse than that, Jim. He's dead. Jim.
Dead, Jim. Dead. Dead, Jim. Dead.
Dead.
Dead, Diamondback. Dead.
Dead. That happens to be my name, but I was doing a little nerd there being.
I remember that from wasn't that
Star Trek?
Yeah, but that's what's from Star Trek. But what was the comedian's name that did that song?
I don't know.
Not Ray Stevens.
That wasn't Ray Stevens.
And it wasn't Weird Al. But anyway, go on with the story. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, no, they could not get him removed from the ballot.
Yeah.
So people still went out and voted for a dead man.
So let me get this straight. Here's the really funny part, folks, about this story. The funniest part about this story is that the guy who's alive lost to a dead guy.
To a dead guy.
That means that the dead guy was more popular than the guy who was still alive and could hold the office.
Yes.
They liked the dead guy more. How did he sleep last night? The guy who lost this election, wow. I mean, that's got to take a lot of solace from his wife or whatever.
So usually the losing candidate calls up the winning candidate. Does this mean he went to his grave and said, "Congratulations, you won"?
I don't even know, man. That's just
brutal.
When I saw this story earlier, or heard this story earlier today on Q, I think it was on the Q, I heard this. I was laughing because it's just like all of the different things. Like I said, first of all, this guy, the guy who's alive loses to a dead guy.
Right.
Then on top of this, all the people who went out and voted for the dead guy because they still liked him more than the guy who was alive.
Well, his constituents was probably his customers.
Well,
he owned the brothel.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Diamondback. Yeah, they could have been his customers. So he won because of what business he had, for sure.
Well, I mean, it's great that he wants to, help with the laws so that he can help his girls out. That's perfectly fine. But anyways, no, I just thought that was very interesting. His name is Dennis Hoff, by the way, if anybody wants to look it up. But
Dennis
yes,
Hoff.
we're not making this up.
No, this is real. This is real.
It actually happened.
This is real. It's unbelievable. When I heard this story earlier, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, I can't believe this.
This just tells me one thing. Our politics here in America is dead.
Literally. And that's the last time we talk politics tonight, unless one of us just goes, dead guy.
Dead guy.
Dead guy. That could be the key phrase of the night. Dead guy. You know what?
Dead guy wins.
Diamondback, I'm going to say it right now. He's my guy. He's my guy.
He's my guy.
He's my guy. He could win an election dead. He's my guy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a bunch of live people that lost last night, including the guy you beat.
Right.
Including the guy you beat. That's so funny.
Think about that. I mean, it's now a politician to actually use it. I can win this election dead.
Yeah. I am that good.
Because somebody has done that.
Yeah. I can win dead. The guy I'm running against sucks so much I can win dead. So, anyway, let's move on now. Once again, that phone line, #SavedTheCrew. Phone line is 614-781-0754.
That's 614-781-0754.
During this break, we will have the NBA update, the Major League Soccer update, and whatever other hijinks Iconic Drew decides to play on us tonight. And get a good look at this Columbus Crew shirt, because it's probably the last time you're going to see it tonight. I'm going to do something different here for the rest of the segments. I wanted to go with an Ohio team during.
Break out the ones.
I want to go with an Ohio team during the Ohio segment. Makes sense, right? I'm always thinking ahead, Diamondback. It's what I do. Anyway, time to mute the Diamondback and do the NBA update now. This is everyone but the Cavs, because we just did the Cavs update. We'll continue to update their game tonight as it unfolds. On the 31st, the Nets beat my Pistons 120-119 in overtime. Pacers beat the Knicks 107-101. Another overtime game. The Nuggets beat the Bills 108-107. T-Wolves beat the Jazz 128-125. Warriors beat the Pelicans 131-121. Lakers get by the Mavs 114-113. Got some Lakers news coming up during this segment as well. We'll get to that after I'm done with the scores. Spurs over the Suns 120-90. On the first, Thunder beat the Hornets 111-107. 76ers beat the Clippers 122-113. That's for you, AP. Kings beat the Hawks big 146-115. Celtics beat the Bucks 117-113. T-Blazers do it to the Pelicans 132-119. On the second, Clippers beat the Magic 120-95. Rockets beat the Nets 119-111. Thunder beats the Wizards 134-111. Pacers get by the Bulls 107-105. Knicks beat the Mavs 118-106. Grizzlies beat the Jazz 110-100. Raptors beat the Suns 107-98. Warriors then beat the T-Wolves 116-99. On the third, my Pistons suffer another loss. This time to AP 76ers. Thanks, AP. You bum. 109-99 in that game. Pacers beat the Celtics 102-101. Hawks beat the Heat 123-118. Rockets beat the Bulls 96-88. Then the Spurs got by the Pelicans 109-95. Nuggets beat the Jazz 103-88. Lakers beat the T-Blazers 114-110. It's 2 wins in a row for the Lakers there. You're keeping score. Then on the fourth, Bucks beat the Kings big 144-109. Nets beat the Sixers 122-97. Wizards beat the Knicks 108-95. Magic got by the Spurs 117-110. Suns beat the Grizzlies 102-100. T-Blazers beat the T-Wolves 111-81. Raptors beat the Lakers 121-107. Here's where things started to fall apart for the Lakers. Get to that in a moment. On the fifth, my Pistons suffer their third loss in a row, this time to the Heat 120-115. Rockets beat the Pacers 98-94. Bulls beat the Knicks 116-115. Thunders get by the Pelicans 122-116. Nuggets beat the Celtics 115-107. Warriors beat the Grizzlies 117-101. Clippers beat the T-Wolves 120-109. Raptors got by the Jazz 124-111. On the 6th, the Hornets beat the Hawks 113-102. Mavs beat the Wizards 119-100. Nets beat the Spurs 104-82. And the Trailblazers beat the Bucks 118-103. Games today. Pistons at the Magic. Knicks at the Hawks. Spurs at the Heat. Sixers at the Pacers. Nuggets at the Grizzlies. Bulls at the Pelicans. Mavs at the Jazz. Raptors at the Kings. T-Wolves at the Lakers. And of course, your Cleveland Cavaliers are playing as well. How are they doing, Diamondback?
They are down by 1, 23-22 with 11:04 in the second.
In second already.
And my mic is still muted.
Yeah, there we go. No, just say that score again. Sorry.
23-22, 11:04 in the second. They're only down by 1.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So, speaking of the Lakers, I teased a couple moments ago, and I follow up with my teases, that there's a little trouble going on with the Magic. Well, you got an argument overheard in the hallways there at their where their stadium is there in LA. A little argument heard outside in the hallway between their head coach and Magic Johnson, screaming at each other at the top of their lungs. So wait and see what falls out with that. Is their coach going to make it through the year? Are they going to give up on him? Are they going to let some talent come in and see what happens there as far as that goes. Only time will tell. But this has been the iconic Drew with your National Basketball Association update. And now I kick it over to my partner, the Diamondback, with the MLS.
I'm the Diamondback, and this is this week's Major League Soccer scores. Yes, as Ford mentioned earlier in the show, Columbus Crew SC beat the New York Red Bulls 1-0. Second leg is on 11/11 in Harrison. The Portland Timbers beat the Seattle Sounders 2-1. The second leg for that is scheduled for 11/8 in Seattle. The New York FC fell to the Atlanta United FC 1-0. And the second leg for that is on 11/11 in Atlanta. The Real Salt Lake and the Sporting Kansas City came to a 1-1 tie. Their second leg is in Kansas City, also on 11/11. That is this week's Major League Soccer scores. I am the Diamondback, and thank you. Have a nice day. And as always, enjoy.
Just we start with this and go to this and go here. Sorry, everybody. Oh. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And that song is more than appropriate to talk about college football this week. That's for darn sure.
All I got to say is, yeah, roll tide.
I knew that was coming. That's why I waited to get my cans on, folks. I'm still professional. I knew he was going to scream and yell yeehaw and be a hick, and I was ready for it this time. He got me by surprise last week, and he did it again. That's stinking. You know, it's a good thing that we're friends, Diamondback, because people like you make me want to hate Bama.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, this is a good week for celebration and for me, so I'm going to enjoy it while I can. Next up, Mississippi State.
Yeah, we'll get to that game here in a minute, because first we have to talk about last week's game. You know how this works.
Oh, yeah, I know.
We do the same thing every week.
I know.
So this is not rocket science, Diamondback. I realize for you it may be.
Yes, he played Sweet Home Alabama because Alabama's #1.
And we'll get to that in a moment, too. And they won big, 29-0. Were you surprised they shut them out, Diamondback? Or is that kind of what you expected?
I did not expect a shutout. I really did not. I did expect a big win if it was going to be Alabama, because I knew LSU couldn't put up the points. However, I did not expect a shutout.
That one this time.
But I would like to go on record. I called this in last week's show. Tua did throw his first interception.
Yeah, he did.
Now, I did not think he would throw it until the second quarter, but he did throw his interception.
That was for you, because you called that.
I called that.
Because Bama finally played a team, so of course he's going to throw an interception.
Dude, but I'm wondering if he threw that on purpose, because they put him on the freaking 4-yard line.
Well, I don't know, maybe.
I mean,
but
he was having a hard time getting passes there, but finally did.
Right. But some stats from that game. Speaking of Tua, he went 25 of 42 for 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception that we just talked about, and he also ran 44 yards for another score. So
the whole entire
nice
time
game
I'm
for
like,
Tua.
slide. And I'm like, run, you fool, run, you fool.
Yeah. So he makes it in 29-0. I admit when Bama went up 29-0, I think I flipped over to a different game at that point because I knew Bama had it in hand. I really thought LSU was going to give him a game. Obviously, I picked LSU, but I picked them for the upset. And also to pick against you.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it was a no-brainer. I knew there are certain teams that we both follow that we both know that if we pick the other team, we got a shot for a win.
Right.
And we both do it to each other constantly.
Constantly, yeah.
It's part of the routine.
But no, and yes, Killer. I am proud that I called that. By the way, no, Tua was just amazing. I don't understand the announcers. The announcers, the whole game. Oh man, once they get their defensive back in, and I'm like,
well,
he plays defense.
But let's think about one particular play in this game. Okay, then we're going to move on to the Clemson game next. But let's think about one particular moment in this game. LSU's down 9-0. Okay, and instead of running out the clock, being kind of content to be down 9-0, they take a risk. And I think this is when they throw the interception, right? If I remember right, it's right before the first. It's right before the half ends. No, they don't throw an interception. They kick off. They throw some incomplete passes. They kick off. Alabama gets the ball about the 50-yard line. So what's Bama do? Touchdown. 16-0 at the half. That demoralizes LSU. If LSU goes into the locker room only down 9-0, and then they get their best defensive player back, it could have been a different game. So I get where the announcers are coming from.
Nah, he plays defense.
I understand that, but what did LSU, if they had held Bama, Diamondback, think about this. If they had held, take your Bama glasses off for a moment. If they had held freaking Bama to 9 points, and then their best defensive player comes back in, it could have lifted up their whole team. It could have. I'm not saying it would have. I get where the announcers are coming from.
Now, they crossed the 50-yard line, unlike a couple of years ago in the national title game.
That's a game we watched together. That was interesting.
They crossed the 50-yard line in the first half, but they could not get down there.
Right.
Alabama's defense was just on target.
And I'm not saying it would have been any different. What I'm saying is it's a difference of being down by 16 compared to being down by only 9. If you're only down 9, you're thinking, we get a lucky touchdown and a field goal, we can beat this team.
Yeah.
We can beat this team.
I agree.
And a 10-9 win by LSU would have shocked the world. So, in my opinion, I think the announcers are right. You don't give up that touchdown right before halftime, you might win this game if you're LSU. You're at least mentally you're more into it. It's like the boot came down on their neck with that touchdown.
Yeah,
like we've talked about.
It did put them 3 scores down.
Right. The boot went down on their neck. And they went in the locker room thinking, we can't beat this team. We cannot beat this team. No matter what we do, we can't win. They were demoralized at halftime, which is what Bama needed to do with their best defensive player coming back.
Right. Well, they needed to do that. They needed
Bama needed that touchdown before halftime, and LSU did not need them to have it.
But Ogeron should have used that interception. We did something nobody else could.
Yeah.
We took the ball away from Tua.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It backfired in our face, but we took the ball away from Tua.
Yeah.
And he should have used that and kept them pumped.
Right.
But they did. They came out kind of, they came out. They, what is that LSU player's name? Off the top of my head, Devin. Anyways, they was out him and they was out Battle because Battle went out in an injury and they almost lost their other guy for a targeting call. Which when it happened, I'm like going, oh yeah, that's targeting. Because I watched it in real time. Then once he slowed it down, I'm like going, oh, he's not defenseless because he's actually bracing for the impact. And the other guy did try his best to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So, the right call to overturn that, the right call to call it because it looked like it, the right call to overturn it.
I agree. I didn't think that was targeting either.
No.
So, but, moving on then. Clemson gets by Louisville, 77-16.
They kill it.
77-16. Clemson's looking good. Stats in this game: Travis Etienne rushed for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 350-pound. I don't know why they listed his size, but 350-pound defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence added a 2-yard touchdown as well. Clemson certainly looking good. Second best team in the country, and I don't think anybody can argue that. So, I don't know if you got anything to add to that game or or not.
Dude, no, Clemson's doing what they need to do. And
Yeah.
it's, once again, demoralizing their opponents.
Yes, it's exactly what great teams do in college football.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do.
You put your foot on their throat and
Yep.
wait for the head to pop.
Then Notre Dame goes to Northwestern and wins 31-21 to stay undefeated. In this particular game, my guy, Ian Book, 22 of 34 for 343 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he ran 23 yards for a touchdown in the closing moments to steal this game for the Fighting Irish. Gotta love it. Notre Dame wins this game, and at a tough place to play, Northwestern. So they win the game, still undefeated. We'll see where the Irish go from here, but pretty good game overall for Notre Dame, especially to win at Northwestern. Not an easy place to play. I've seen Ohio State struggle there quite a bit in the past, so I know that's a tough place to play.
No, it's
No matter what Northwestern's record might be at the time.
no, they are good for a home team.
Yes, and they've always been that way.
And they are almost good for all 6 wins there,
Yeah,
with a few exceptions.
right. And this was the Irish. So let's see what happens going forward. Like I said, at this point, 2 dominant teams at this point in college football, but we got another one coming up. Meat Chicken wins at home against PSU. Now, in this game, Penn State was ranked 14th going into the game. Meat Chicken is 7-1 going into the game and wins 42-7. Now, granted, that game's at home in the Big House, but they win at home 42-7 against a ranked team. This is almost as impressive as what Bama did. Almost.
This, in my opinion,
And I'll give you
is-
some stats, but go ahead.
This is that impressive because Penn State was a ranked. You said they were ranked 14th.
Yeah.
Where are they ranked now?
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second.
They probably fell quite a bit.
Penn State's now 21st.
21st.
Yeah, so they dropped 7 spots. And could
and
have fallen further.
They could have fell further because they
But-
did not show up at all in the Big House.
In this game, Shea Peterson was 11 for 17, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he ran one in from a yard out as well. So, yeah, Meat Chicken's looking dominant right now. Looks like we got 3 at this point. Count them. 3 teams looking dominant. I can't call the win by the Irish dominant. They survived, and they won, moved on. But right now, I wouldn't call that a dominant win by 10 points, even though it was on the road.
No, but it's a good win in my book. Even though
Yeah.
it's Northwestern, it's
They
still
did.
a good win.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from
Not a great one.
I'm
but
not
it's
taking
good.
anything away from Notre Dame, but believe me, you know I like the Irish. Then next, we have Georgia beating Kentucky at Kentucky, 34-17. In this particular game, DeAndre Swift rushed for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Georgia clinches its 2nd straight SEC East title. I failed to mention earlier that Bama clinched another West title and will play Georgia in the SEC championship game.
But we're not clinching
So-
back to back. We're
Yeah.
kind of letting other teams have a chance.
Right, yeah, you kind of let other, and even the kids, you know. Anyway, so that being said, a pretty big good win for Georgia to go into Kentucky and win 34-17 because Kentucky's legit this year. They've been a ranked team all season.
They're phenomenal. They did lose to LSU. That is their loss that came up. But they are impressive. It's hard to go to LSU and win. It really is. I know Bama
Unless you're Bama.
I know Bama made it look easy, but it's not.
Yeah, believe me, at this point, we'll get to this in a minute. We'll get to my Buckeyes here. I got a comment to make about them in a moment here.
I got a question for you about it.
Okay. So then Oklahoma, number 7 team in the country, wins on the road at Texas Tech, 51-46. In this particular game, Kyle Murray was 20 of 35 for 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Basically a survival win by Oklahoma. Defense optional, but it's the Big 12, so you got to expect that.
I don't. It is a Big 12, and you're right. Defense is optional.
Defense optional. I still like Oklahoma. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't want
defense
to see them,
optional.
I don't want to see them in the playoff because
We'll get to that in a moment.
who the heck are they going to beat in there? But as you said, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So, and next we do have Ohio State. Speaking of Ohio State, the Ohio State men are beating Cincinnati right now 55-43 with 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the second half. So go Bucks. We're up 12 points in the second half. I love it. Diamondback, what's the Cavs update?
Cavs update. We have 33-34. The Cavaliers are winning with 5:01 in the second.
Okay. So, meanwhile, back to the Ohio State Buckeye football team, beating Nebraska on Saturday at home, 36-31 in this particular game. J.K. Dobbins ran for 3 touchdowns, and Dwayne Haskins passed for 2 more. Dobbins had 163 yards with those 3 TDs. Diamondback, what's your question about my Buckeyes?
Wait, first off, they played where?
They played at home.
Played at home. They wore badass black uniforms.
They did. They were sweet.
And they barely sat by Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska gave them a game.
Yeah.
And Nebraska stayed in this game till the very end.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Meanwhile, anyway, so here's my question to you. I'm just going to ask you.
Go ahead.
You got 2 choices. You can go play in a meaningless bowl with, as Ohio State, play in a meaningless bowl, or go play Rose Bowl. Excuse me. Sorry, it's not meaningless, but
Yeah.
Go play in Rose Bowl against Washington State,
Yeah.
or win out
Yeah.
and go and play Bama in the first round.
Okay,
I'm
so
just going with what's going on.
we're going to talk
right now.
about. I mean, we're going to get into all the scenarios in college bowl
I
and the
realize
college
that.
football playoff thing here.
But I want to
But-
hear your answer to that.
My answer to that is, as a Buckeye fan, I want a shot at a national title.
Thank you. There was an actual player on our local radio station that played for Ohio State, and he's like, "This is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I want a shot.
Yeah.
We might get rolled,
Oh,
but
we
I
will.
want a shot."
Well, we would.
Because really, in 2014, did you actually think you had a shot against Bama?
Well, we were on the same field, so I thought we had a shot, but not much.
Well, I'm just saying, realistically, if you looked at that game, did you really think you had a shot?
I think that team was better than this one.
What, the Ohio State?
I think that 2014 team was much better than this one.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing with, and I wanted to make this comparison right now. The thing with Ohio State is they started up here at the top, and they have gone downhill as the season's gone. They've gotten worse as the season's gone. The meat chicken team started off bad and has gotten better every week.
Well, that's the way.
Right now, on paper, meat chicken is a much better team than Ohio State. Much better.
No, I agree wholeheartedly.
And I hate to say it, but it's only true.
But
That game coming up after Thanksgiving, I'm a little worried.
the guy
And
that
I ought
asked,
to be.
the guy that asked that question to him, he was like, "Okay, fine. Do you want to go win against Washington State, or do you want to go get rolled by Alabama?" He's like, "I'd still take the Alabama game because we got a shot."
Right.
And I'm like going, I like this guy. This guy's attitude is perfect. That's the type of players you want on your team.
Yes. Yeah.
We want the shot.
Give us a shot.
It's like the movie Any Given Sunday.
Yeah.
And that statement is so true in college.
The only road for Ohio State, I said it last week, keep rooting for meat chicken. You want them in the final. You want them to be ranked in the top 4 when you play them in the college football poll.
You got 3
And then when you play meat chicken, you want to beat them. You want to win badly. And then you want to win the Big Ten championship game big.
Yeah.
And that's the only path for Ohio State.
That's the only path for Ohio State. And that actually still might be on the outside looking in because
exactly.
as bad as they lost to Purdue.
Exactly. Because of that one loss.
Because the committee is going to look at it and go.
And I'll say it all day long. If I was not a Buckeye fan, I wouldn't even be talking about them having a chance. Because I'm sorry, this is college football. You should not make it to the Final Four if you lose against an unranked team on the road that big. It's bad if you lose in the last second. If you lose in the last second field goal, that's one thing. But if you get rolled 29 points by Purdue, you don't deserve to be in the Final Four.
And that's not a team that you play every year.
Right.
You don't. They are in the West.
Now, as much as I sit here and say every week, I want Nebraska to get better, I want Purdue to get better, I want Michigan State to get better, I want all these teams to improve. I do want all these teams to continue to improve.
But you want Ohio State.
We want Ohio State to be on. You want the SEC to improve.
Oh God, yeah.
But do you still want Bama to be number one? Hell yeah. I mean, duh.
No.
Right.
No, I'd like to see him be number 2. No.
Right.
Kick everybody's ass. Thank you very much.
So Dave wants to know. He's weighing in.
Okay.
He wants to know, in our opinion, and I'll let you answer it first, because you're the non-Buckeye fan in the room.
Okay.
Do you think Ohio State has their swagger back?
No.
Me neither. I agree.
No,
they do not.
And that's real simple to answer. No, they do not. They're lacking something. I don't know what it is. I don't know if their heart's going out to Urban Meyer. They're worried about him. They're not playing to their potential. You got Haskins, man. We was talking Heisman Trophy candidate.
I still think he should be invited to New York.
Oh no! I'm not taking. I'm just saying.
I think he should be invited to New York.
I mean,
come on. You got.
And I'm not.
You got Tua. You got Book. You got him, and you got Will Grier from West Virginia. Those 4 guys should be the Final 4 for the Heisman this year.
I think they should pull one out of every big 5.
Well, the kid from
Washington
State, yeah, he's put up some pretty big stats.
But no, and I heard today Tua's got it hands down. I'm like going, how can you say that? There's still 3 games to play.
Right.
4 games to play.
Tua could fall on his face. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably won't, but
With
he
the
could.
way he's playing, that's highly unlikely.
Right.
But it's still possible.
Sure. So, moving on from the Ohio State game. UCF beats Temple 52-40 in this particular game. Mackenzie Milton has 3 touchdowns, 312 yards, and UCF with the nation's longest winning streak, 21 games. Of course, they are the defending national champions. But UCF with a big win here. Anything to add to that?
Who?
Yeah. Okay. So moving on then. Washington State beats Cal 19-13, and in this particular game, Gardner Minkson was 35 of 51, 334 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The TD that wins this game was for 10 yards with 32 seconds left. So a pretty exciting finish in that game. Then West Virginia gets by Texas 42-41 in another classic shootout in the Big 12. No defense. Defense optional in that league. West Virginia with 16 seconds left. Will Grier to Gary Jennings for a 33-yard touchdown. Will Grier then runs in 2 yards for the 2-point conversion to win the game. So instead of going for the tie, they go for the 2-point conversion with no time on the clock and win the game.
This is a coach I absolutely love. I love when coaches do this.
Yeah, awesome.
As I said, it backfired at Alabama, with the kick 6. But damn it, I love when coaches do this. Go for the win. Go for the knockout punch.
Yeah.
You are down. They weren't even playing at home. They weren't even playing in West Virginia, and he went for the knockout punch. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome choice.
Wins the game.
Awesome choice.
Can you imagine the fans of Texas just walking out there just shaking their heads like, man, we lost in the last minute of this game. The last 30 seconds of this game, we lost.
It's phenomenal.
So, yeah, I love it too. I love when a coach has balls and goes for it. Florida then beats Ole Miss 38-17 in this particular game. Drew Lock was 24-32, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. So they move on and win that game there. Then Utah beats Arizona State 38-20. Murray Williams 3 touchdown passes, all the same guy, N'Keal Harry. So that's pretty awesome there. Big win for them. Then finally Purdue, thank you, get a win. Damn it. Purdue beats Iowa at home 38-36. They thought they were in the Big 12 for this game. These two teams.
They're pretty close there.
Yeah, they thought they were in the Big 12. So they thought they were in the Big 12.
Were they playing in Iowa? Because Iowa State there was there too.
No, they were playing. If you had listened, they were playing in Purdue.
I was.
He doesn't listen, folks.
I was. Jesus Christ.
So I'm just playing
For
with
the
you.
love of Pete.
Spencer Evans makes a 25-yard field goal with 8 seconds left for the win. That's right, love for the kicker in this game, as opposed to the quarterback. We always mention quarterbacks. Spencer Evans kicks a winning field goal for Purdue. PU. Then Fresno State crushes UNL. Fresno State does their Alabama impersonation on UNLV, 48-3. They let them score, though. Alabama doesn't do that. So, Fresno State's Marcus McKenzie, 26-35, 274 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception in that game. And then we have the Mississippi State beating LA Tech 45-3. Nick Fitzgerald, 17-28, 243 yards, 4. Count them, 4. Who does he think he is, Dwayne Haskins? 4 touchdown passes. Amazing. Syracuse beats Wake Forest 41-24. Telling you, man, look out for Syracuse, especially when they play Notre Dame in a couple weeks. That's gonna be a key game. In this game, Eric Dungy rushed for 119 yards and 4 TDs. Wow. And Jaron Howard had 2 touchdowns as well. Now here's a game that shocked me. We both took Virginia in this next game. Shows what we know. That's right, the Pitt Panthers borrowed some Steelers and rose up and won big at Virginia, 23-13. You say big, it was only a 10-point game, but Virginia's ranked. Pitt sucks. Pitt goes into Virginia and wins this game.
Nice.
And we both picked Virginia, but we go with the home. Go with the home team and they're ranked. So
it was not a bad pick. It was just.
Darren Hall had 229 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. No, it was a solid pick. It was just wrong. It was just wrong. It was a solid pick.
Wrong.
It was just wrong.
Survey says.
Not so much. So anyway, Texas A&M then loses to Auburn. I took Texas A&M. Diamondback took Auburn. He didn't want to, but he did. Auburn wins 25-24, 28-24. Jarrett Stidler, 18 for 29, 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I know you didn't even want to talk about that game. You didn't even want to pick that game. Well, I'll talk about it.
I mean,
there's nothing to talk about.
I'd rather have seen Texas A&M win that.
Yeah.
But I kind
of... War Eagle.
No.
So, kick 6.
No. That's in the past. I know you're a Buckeye. It's in the past.
It's in the past. Wow. I don't live in the past. I'm not your typical Buckeye fan. We both know this. Speaking of the Buckeyes, top 10 rankings come out last night, college football playoffs. Got to wait around for them. It's about 9 o'clock when they release them, 9:30. Ohio State at number 10. And speaking of Ohio State, right now, 59 seconds to go in the game against Cincinnati. Buckeyes are up 60-56. The Bearcats have closed it. It's going to be a nail-biter for the last minute of the game. We'll continue to update that. How are the Cavs doing?
Cavs are 48-40. They are losing at halftime.
Yes. Okay. So.
His love for Cleveland comes out.
Yeah, my love for Cleveland comes out big time there.
It's the same color as.
Oh, we'll get into the colors later. Number 9, West Virginia. Number 8, Washington State. Number 7, LSU. Number 6, Oklahoma. 5, Georgia. 4, Meat Chicken. 3, Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Number 2, Clemson. Number 1,
the defending national champions, the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I thought you were going to say. Anyway.
Roll Tide.
We know which team is really the defending national champs. But anyway, and they're still ranked this year. So, any surprises in there?
We want
any surprises in there, or you feel like that's kind of what it should be?
I kind of think that's kind of where it belongs. But I'm going to ask you, as a Ohio State fan, only having 1 loss, how do you feel about LSU being ranked above you after getting drawn by Alabama?
That's simple. LSU lost to a much better team at home. We lost to a horrible team on the road by 29 points.
Well, they lost to Alabama at home by 29 points. I don't know if you knew this or not,
Yeah,
but the
but-
score was 29-0.
We talked about that a little while ago, Diamondback. If he listens, I mentioned the
What?
score.
Are you talking?
Yes, I was talking, you son of a... Anyway, so
Biscuit.
I'm not surprised at all. No, I think LSU is a much better team than Ohio State right now.
No, I you know,
I mean,
I
it
try-
may not matter in the long run, because what's going to happen is LSU can't make it to the Final Four.
I mean,
There's no
that-
road. There's no road for LSU to make it to the Final Four. There's a
No.
road for Ohio State. It's not much of one. It's a dirt path off to the side, up a hill, with rocks all over it. But nonetheless, it's a road.
I hate to tell you, but there's snow and ice on that road. too.
Yes, very much so. Which means it's a good thing Bama doesn't have to go up that road, because they could not make it up it.
Oh, really?
Being a Southern
Wow.
team, there's no way they can make it up that road.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, we throw that out there.
I'll show you a Southern boy that can drive in snow. I will show you that.
By the way, folks, it's a final. Ohio State men's basketball team defeats the Cincinnati Bearcats 64-56 tonight. Big win for the Buckeyes.
And yeah, that's true.
So there we go. Gotta love that.
Oh, no, no. Ah.
64-56 final, Ohio State. The Ohio State. No, I'm not shocked with the What's your final four? What 4 teams do you think make it?
As of that.
As of right now.
As of right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Alabama.
Of
Notre
course.
Dame.
Of course.
Clemson.
Okay,
Definitely.
we agree on those 3. And you're going to say meat chicken, aren't you?
I definitely would take Michigan over Oklahoma.
And that's my pick, is Oklahoma. It's nothing against meat chicken. I think even if meat chicken beats Ohio State, think about this. Their road, meat chicken's road is not much better than Ohio State's, even though meat chicken's ranked higher.
All they got to do is win out.
No, that's not true. If Oklahoma wins out as well, it's more impressive, because it's the Big 12, a conference where a lot of points are scored. And think about this. For meat chicken, they're beating a team ranked below them in the game, unlike Ohio State winning that game. And also, whoever they play in the Big Ten championship game is going to be a 3 or 4 loss team. So that doesn't help you if you're meat chicken.
No, they'll have to dominate that game and dominate it big.
Well, like Ohio State did that year that they won.
Yeah, right.
And I agree with that.
No.
But I'm not saying meat chicken can't make it. See, as a Buckeye fan, I'm not convinced they beat us. Sorry, we owned them. We've owned them for several years, and I think Harbaugh is still the little boy, and Urban's the daddy. Until meat chicken beats us with Harbaugh, they haven't proven they can.
That's true.
So that's a fact.
True.
I'm not being a complete homer here. I'm just basing it on facts.
No. However, I'm looking at it through the eyes of the committee. Now, Michigan has got a heck of a defense. They just showed their defense this week. Okay.
Yeah.
They just played somebody and beat them. What was it, 42-7, I believe? If my
Penn
memory.
State.
Penn State.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good team. All right.
Yeah. It was in the big house.
It was at home.
Yeah.
You know,
so that
now-
takes a little. I mean, it's not like they went into Penn State and won like that.
I'm not doing this. I'm doing this to all the teams. I'm just starting with Alabama, 29-0. You look at Clemson, 77 to what? 3? 77? I can't remember that score off the top of my head.
77-16.
16. Okay, nevertheless. Drum. Georgia, or not Georgia, excuse me. Notre Dame barely squeaks by,
Yeah.
but still low-scoring game.
Yeah.
All right? Defense. You think the committee is going to put a Big 12 team in there to get drummed by whoever's number 1 at that time?
Well, that depends. That depends. It depends on comparison of strength of schedules. Now, granted, it helps meat chicken because Notre Dame is their only loss.
Right.
But, and we both know this is true, If Meat
And
Chicken doesn't,
and you've already pointed out, they've gotten better.
if they don't run the table, they're not in.
No, nor should they.
Right. So that's the key for Meat Chicken, obviously. And like I said, they haven't proven they can beat Ohio State yet.
I don't ever, unless there's no teams that are one-loss teams that we have a bunch of two-loss teams, I don't ever want to see a two-loss team.
Okay, so let's get to this week's games. We're up
Right.
against it here.
Okay.
18 Mississippi State at number 1 Bama. I know who you got. Don't think about it too long.
I'll take the Crimson Tide.
I'm taking Mississippi State. No, I'm not. I'm taking Bama. All day, every day. Clemson at BC. Number 2, Clemson at number 17, BC. Who you got?
Give me Clemson.
Me too. I thought about this game for a moment. Man, Boston College is tough. And I really just
I'm going to root for
throw
BC.
a freaking monkey wrench in this thing if Clemson gets a loss.
Oh, heck
Because,
yeah.
now, here's another team. Clemson has to stay undefeated to make it to the Final Four.
Yes, they do. Because the
ACC
ACC looks
sucks.
weak.
Yes, it sucks.
They look weak.
Right, they suck. So they need to stay undefeated.
They suck. That's all.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, Florida State at number 3, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yep, me too. We may not disagree on a game this week. By the way, you beat me last week. You got 15 wins, I got 13 wins. So
I'm sorry. What
good job on
was
that.
again?
You won last week, 15 to 13 in wins.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. What?
Number 4, Meat Chicken at Rutgers.
Oh, at Rutgers?
Yeah,
Oh, give me the Scarlet. No.
Meat Chicken every day. Yeah, me too. In fact, as a Buckeye fan, I need them to win. I need Meat Chicken to continue to win. That rule we were just talking about for Ohio State goes away if Meat Chicken loses to Rutgers. It's over.
It's on.
Neither one of us make it. The game is just for the division now at that point.
We both are buying
Yeah.
tickets for the couch.
Right, exactly. And we're fighting to play Washington State out west. Auburn at Georgia, number 6 Georgia.
Well, Killer just back on here. This ugly name here. It looks like like did it 3 times. So I think he's taking Auburn. Anyways,
It's an obvious pick for me.
I'm taking. Damn it! I lost my train of thought. Do they play it again? I'm taking Team Auburn's one.
You're taking Georgia.
Thank you.
Oklahoma State, who's 5-4 at number 7 Oklahoma. I wish this game was at Oklahoma State.
No kidding.
I mean, because then my argument for Oklahoma State would be out the window.
Fun.
I mean,
I'm going
Oklahoma.
to root for OSU there, but
Yeah, they're
I'm
not.
going to take.
Oklahoma's going to win this game, probably
Yeah.
big. Speaking of OSU, the OSU, Ohio State, 8-1 at number 24, MSU, 6-3. By the way, the rankings I'm giving are based on the AP, not the college football playoff. Number 8 OSU at who's 8-1 at number 24 MSU 6-3. This game's at noon on Fox. Big game. Who you got, Diamondback?
Just to be opposite of you, I'm going to go ahead and take the Spartans.
I already wrote it down before you even started talking. Before you opened your mouth, I had MSU.
I mean,
write it
OSU's
down.
going to win the game.
You think so? I'm worried. After the Nebraska game, I'm worried. I think the Buckeyes will win, but Dave wants to know, while we're on the Buckeyes, are the leaders making a mark for Ohio State? I'll answer this question first. I think Haskins is making his mark. I think Dobbins made his mark last week. I think the defense improved last week, although they still gave up 31 points. Not where you want a Big Ten defense to be. Big Ten defenses that are good give up less than 10 points.
You guys.
So our defense isn't where it needs to be yet.
You guys.
But they didn't give up as many big plays against Nebraska as they did
You guys
against
can't get
Purdue.
back what you need, and that's Nick Bosa.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and I don't.
I'm sorry.
And you're right.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right. There's nothing to be sorry about. You're right.
You
I said that about Ryan Shazier with Pittsburgh. I mean, they've turned that around a little bit with the Steelers, but one guy can make a big difference.
He can't
For sure.
because
Especially on defense at college level. And I
some
don't
of
blame
us say-
Bosa. I understand.
Queen made down there in LSU. He made an excellent job. He did an excellent
Here
job.
we go. Yeah.
But he did not do what the guy that he took the place of. And I'm sorry, I cannot think of his name off the top of my
Speaking of LSU,
Anyway.
number 9 LSU is at Arkansas. Who you got?
Nice segue. Nice segue.
Well, they happen to be the next game too, but so that helped.
LSU.
Yeah, that's a given. We'll both take LSU there, and I am still worried about the Buckeye game, but we're moving on. Washington State is at Colorado. This game's at 3:30. Who you got in this game?
Give me Washington State.
Yeah, me too. I think we're going to disagree on one game. Navy is at the defending national champion UCF. They're number 11. Who you got?
Navy is?
Yeah.
Give me Navy.
Navy's 2-7. You still take Navy? UCF's 8-0. Okay, take Navy. Obviously, I have UCF because I have a brain in my head. Number 12. Oh, well, here is my non-brain pick coming up. Number 12, Kentucky is at Tennessee. Tennessee is 4-5. Kentucky 7-2. Who you got?
Give me the blue.
So you got Kentucky. I'll take Tennessee in this game. This will be my loss, folks. Then Louisville is 2-7. Is at Syracuse, who's the opposite, 7-2. Who you got? Syracuse is 13th.
Give me Syracuse. Give me the orange.
Yeah, me too. And then San Jose State, who's 1-8, is at Utah State, who's 8-1. And that's a given.
Yeah.
Utah State.
Yeah, the 1-18. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. This game is interesting. Number 15, Texas, 6-3, at Texas Tech, who's 5-4. This game's at 7:30 on Fox. Big matchup in the evening for you there.
At the end of this.
At the end of this day, this is
At the end of this day, they will have the same record.
Ah,
I'm taking Texas Tech.
we agree. I took Texas Tech as well. Then we have number 16, Fresno State, 8-1 at Boise State, 7-2. Who you got?
Boise State.
Yeah, I took Fresno. This game could go either way. So we do a few
Give me
differences
Smurf
here.
Turf.
Smurf Turf.
Smurf Turf.
Smurf Turf in it. That's why that game's worth turning on.
It makes people confused. There's something wrong with my TV.
The first time I
I
saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. The Smurf Turf. Okay. Now, next we have South Carolina 5-3 at Florida 6-3. Who you got?
Give me the right team.
Florida. And we got a phone call. See if it works this week. Sorry, WTMH. We'll see. All right, who we got?
Hello, caller.
Hello, caller? All right, well, the caller decides if he wants to talk to us or not. I think he just hung up.
Why don't you hit the phone before it buzzes in our ear?
Wisconsin. Thank you. Wisconsin, who is 6-3, at Penn State, who's 6-3. This could be the game of the week. This game's on at noon on ABC, opposite of the Ohio State game. I might have to drag out both TVs. I got to warn you right now, Carrie. We might have both TVs going at this point. Later on, we'll talk about our plans for the weekend. But I don't think I'm going to watch football on Sunday because my boys play tomorrow night. And I'm going to give it up football on Sunday and might be going down to Ogden Hills for the day.
Penn State against
Wisconsin at Penn State. They're both 6-3. Diamondback, this is tough. This is a good game. And this game could decide for Wisconsin if they can somehow still win the West.
No, they're not going to. I'm going to take Penn State.
Yeah, me too. But this is a good matchup.
Yeah.
Wake Forest 4-5 at North Carolina State 6-2. Who you got? Just for a little while now.
North Carolina State.
North Carolina State, me too. Then we have the Cyclones at 24. They're 5-4. They're hosting Baylor 5-3. They're hosting Baylor, who's 5-4. Who you got?
Give me Iowa State. Give me the
Yeah,
Cyclones.
me too. Okay, we got one more game. How about Cincinnati climbing into the top 25? Baby.
They lost to Ohio State just a little while.
Yes, well, this is the
That was
football team.
basketball. Oh, I'm sorry. That was basketball.
Yeah, this is the football team. They're hosting South Florida, who's 7-2. Bearcats are 8-1. Who you got? Yeah, me too. I took them too. So we disagreed on 4 games. To sum that up, you got Michigan State over Ohio State. I got the Buckeyes. You got Navy over UCF for whatever reason. Then you've taken the good pick, taking Kentucky over Tennessee. And then you're taking the Smurf Turf, Boise State over Fresno State. I can see us splitting this. I can see you getting the Boise State game and the UK game, and me getting the other 2. At least I hope I get one of those other 2. Anyway, because that's the Buckeyes. I mean, if now see what happens here. That little road we were just talking about for the Buckeyes to make it to the Final Four. If they lose a game,
we're talking about Season 5 of Ice Road Truckers.
If they lose in one more game, that road is closed, and no one's allowed to go up it until the next time a team is in that situation. So, anyway, so that sums up our college football segment for the night. What a segment it was. A lot of good information in that segment for you folks. Hope you all enjoyed that, because I know I enjoyed giving it to you. Enjoyed sharing that with you. We love this. This is fun. Anyway, so during this particular break, as I shuffle papers, it's kind of what the Iconic Drew does. Diamondback has a clipboard that I can put all these on, but my stuff is written all over the place as I figure out things as the week goes on here and as I put the show together. So, speaking of putting the show together, when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about should college football players be compensated over and above their scholarships, and should they be paid for their likeness as well? Should be an interesting topic. But during the break, we're going to have a commercial that the Iconic Drew did when he was at the Ohio Media School. We're going to have the CFL update, the National Hockey League update, and whatever shenanigans Iconic Drew decides to do. So let's get into all that. Let's get into the commercial, kind of take things from there, see where all this takes us as the evening unfolds.
So you tired of the same old for subs? Come try Cosmic
That went
Subs.
well.
Cosmic Subs has all kinds of delicious subs.
I love the college update segment. I love the college update, but I had to start with your song this week because I mean, what sums up
this season?
Your CFL right at this commercial ends. Okay.
I'm ready.
This season they're the only dominant. Well, no, Clemson's dominant too. Clemson and Meat Chicken right now both look dominant. You're up.
I'm the Diamondback, and this is this week's Canadian Football League scores. That's right. The final week actually of the Canadian Football League happened this past week, and week number 21, Friday, November 2nd, Toronto Argonauts lost to the Ottawa Redblacks 9-24. Winnipeg lost to the Edmonton Eskimos 33-24. The Montreal Alouettes beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats. That's right. And then Johnny Football actually got his second win, beating his old team 30-28.
Whoa.
Yes, whoa. Now, Calgary Stampeders beat the BC Lions 26-9. That sets us up for the actual playoffs. So with that being said, on Sunday, November 11th, the BC Lions are playing the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Also Sunday, November 11th at 4:30. The other game was at 1 o'clock, by the way. The Sunday, November 11th, the Winnipeg will play the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Go Rough Riders.
Yeah, so now the next games after that will be Sunday, November 18th at the Ottawa Redblacks and at Calgary. The big teams they play is, of course, based off of who and is ranked where. Calgary will grab the lower seed, where the Ottawa Redblacks will grab the higher seed. I am the Diamondback, and this was this week's Canadian Football League scores and updates. Thank you. Have a nice day. And he cut my mic.
Go ahead.
He cut my mic.
I thought you were done. Go ahead.
Have a nice day, and as always, enjoy.
I thought you were saving that for the end of the show. Anyway, and I am the Iconic Drew, and now it is time for this week's National Hockey League update. Everybody but the Columbus Blue Jackets, because we already updated them. Okay, so let's start with this news. A coach wins 3 Stanley Cup finals and gets fired? Really? Yeah, that's what happened. Blackhawks fire Joel Quenneville. Winner of 3 Stanley Cups. They were 6-6 and only 15 points at that point where he got fired. But, you know, really, to fire a coach who won 3 championships for you, this is not my rant tonight, folks, but that's absolutely ridiculous. You give up on a guy that won 3 championships for you? Come on. Ridiculous. Let's turn him out of the building like that. I don't think that was the right choice by the Blackhawks, but what do I know? Anyway, speaking of Blackhawks, on October 31st, they lost to the Canucks 4-2. That was the only game on Halloween. We mentioned that last week. A big mistake by the NHL not having more hockey that night. But Diamondback pointed out that it was because of the possibility of Major League Baseball playing that night, and that was a concern for them, I'm sure. Then on the first day, plenty of games, so let's run through these. Jets beat the Panthers 4-2. Stars beat the Maple Leafs 2-1. Islanders beat the Pens 3-2 in a shootout. The Canadiens beat the Caps 6-4. Sens beat the Sabres 4-2. Preds beat the Lightning 4-1. Red Wings got by the Devils 4-3. And then the Blues beat the Golden Knights 5-3. The Oilers beat the Blackhawks 4-0. Flames beat the Avalanche 6-5. Flyers beat the Kings 5-2. And the second shootout in the same night, Rangers beat the Ducks 3-2. Love the shootout. That's the best. On the second, Panthers beat the Jets 4-2. Canucks beat the Avalanche in overtime 7-6. And then a second overtime game the same night, the Coyotes beat the Hurricanes 4-3. Sabres beat the Sens 9-2. Lightning beat the Canadiens 4-1. Oilers beat the Red Wings 4-3. Islanders beat the Devils 3-0. Maple Leafs beat the Pens 5-0. Stars got by the Caps in overtime 4-3. Wild beat the Blues 5-1. Preds beat the Bruins 1-0. 1 second, everybody.
After all that, you'll be dream restaurant.
It's exactly like nothing else. Visit DTSF.com for more information. Happy holidays from Town Soup Bars.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the NHL update. Sorry about that. Drew kind of lost it there for a moment, but I'm back. On the third, the Sabres beat the Stars 9-2. Lightning beat the Canadiens 4-1. Oilers got by the Red Wings 4-3. Islanders beat the Devils 3-0. Maple Leafs beat the Pens 5-0. And then on the fourth, the Lightnings beat the Sens 4-3. Rangers beat the Sabres 3-1. On the fifth, the Bruins beat the Stars in overtime 2-1. In a shootout, the Canadiens beat the Islanders 4-3. Devils beat the Pens 5-1. What's going on with the Pens? Caps beat the Oilers 4-2. Flyers beat the Coyotes 5-2. On the 6th, Maple Leafs beat the Golden Knights 3-1. Rangers beat the Canadiens 5-3. Sens beat the Devils 7-3. Red Wings beat the Canucks in a shootout 3-2. Lightning beat the Oilers 5-2. Blues beat the Hurricanes 4-1. Kings beat the Ducks 4-1. Sharks beat the Wild 4-3. And today's games here on the 7th: Pens at the Caps, Preds at the Avalanche, Flames at the Ducks. And now, time to get us set for our next segment here. And this has been the iconic Drew with the National Hockey League update. Man, I lost it there. Halfway through that segment.
Whew, that's why I'm trying to keep myself from losing it. Whew, man. I can't open my freaking copy. Welcome back, everybody, to a Ferocious Money Productions presents
the iconic Drew and Diamondback Sports Opinion Show. And right now we're moving into the next segment where we are going to talk about whether or not players should be compensated for their likeness and whether they should be compensated over and above the scholarship money that they get.
I already got Killer one time chiming in. He's he agrees that they should get paid for their likeness, but not paid for anything more.
Okay. Well,
So,
thank you, Killer.
That's his chime in, and he also he's also chiming in saying that the college update is his favorite too. He loves it because it's his snack time.
Well, everybody's going to get a nap time in, and you know what, Killer? We're sorry you don't like college hockey.
College football.
Excuse me, college football. I was talking to a Canadian, so I thought hockey right off the bat. College football. We're sorry you don't like college football, but you know what?
Yeah. If he rooted for a different team than Auburn, maybe
Ooh.
college football.
Well, if I was an Auburn fan, and I knew that my rival was Bama, I think anyway. As bad as
Right.
as good as Bama looks right now, and as mediocre as Auburn looks, I'd be scared if I was Auburn.
They are just going downhill.
Yeah, I mean they look worse than
The Buckeyes aren't too far behind them.
It's not true at all. We only have one loss.
You only got one loss.
They have looked bad all season.
They're just
Auburn are horrible. They are poop. Anyway, so if you guys lose to them, what's that make you? What's that Cavs update?
Cavs update. You're gonna make me change my.
Yeah, you got to work once in a while around
Oh my
here.
God! In the third quarter,
Jeez.
6 minutes and 2
Sorry I
seconds
made him
left.
work.
63-55 in favor of Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes. Okay. So, my hatred of Cleveland continues. If you've got a problem with that, call me. I don't care. First is Money Brothers presents hashtag Save the Crew. Phone line 614-781-0754. We're all over Facebook, my Facebook page anyway. We're all over YouTube, I should say, and WTMHradio.com. Sponsored by Unplugged Magazine with the award show coming up this weekend, 6:30, and then 7:30 for the show. So over there at the
King's Arts Complex.
Thank you. So that'll be this, and Todd is checking in. Hello and good evening all, and good evening to you as well, Todd. As everyone can clearly see, I made it over to Todd's Barbershop last weekend. So glad to get my hair cut taken care of. Todd does a great job for us always. So we're talking now, Todd. This is a topic you might like. Should college players be compensated to play, or for their likeness? So I just started off looking at some salaries and what certain teams are making football-wise right now. To kind of throw out some topics on this. Urban Meyer's salary, $7.6 million for a season.
Season.
Yeah, not bad.
Struck.
Ohio State football program generates nearly $90 million per year. Nick Saban's salary, $11.125
Bigger Brinks truck.
million per year.
I had to say.
Alabama football reported $103.9 million in revenue for 2016 and posted a $47 million profit.
I'm sorry. How much profit?
47
Wow.
million profit.
Wow.
So, and Todd is coming in with this topic right now, saying no, they're in college, so they shouldn't be compensated anymore, according to Todd the Barber. The average athletic scholarship is about $10,400. If you exclude football, men's b-ball, men's basketball, and women's basketball, the average drops to around $8,700. So, what say you, Diamondback? We've got Todd the Barber chiming in already. What do you think, Diamondback?
Well, there's two sides to mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and pay them for their likeness. You're going to put the number 7, making him look somewhat like Haskins, and put number 2 out there and make him look like Jalen Hurts, and put number 15 out there and make him look like Tua, and then yeah, they should pay EA Sports or whoever's doing those needs to pay those players. Now, they can pay that in scholarship, or they get paid that after
Yeah.
the season, after they're done playing. However, paying them more afterwards, or other than for their likeness, sure. But I'm going to jump back on my original bandwagon with this. Then they pay back their scholarships if they leave early, and they pay that money back as well, because they're getting a signing bonus from the team that they're signing to.
So if a college basketball player leaves after 1 year, he pays back 3 years of his scholarship money.
Well, if he leaves after 1 year,
Yeah.
then all he has to pay back is that 1 year, because that scholarship money is
It's still there. That's
Still
right.
there.
It comes back in, right?
yeah, because he's only paying for his classes.
Todd points out that we pay for tickets to pay coaches what they get. So stop paying money for tickets. Coaches won't make that big money.
Okay, so Todd, you on board not going to Ohio State games? Just a question.
I already know the answer to that. Okay, so Todd says, what about room and board, food, travel, clothes, books?
Oh,
They
I'm
get
not-
so much more than what's talked about. That's true.
That is true.
That's a valid point. I do agree with that. My biggest problem in this whole argument is not so much whether they should be given money over and above their scholarship money and all this other stuff that Todd just pointed out. My biggest problem is all these people in the stands, and I'm just going to use Dwayne Haskins as an example because it's Ohio State and we're here. So we're in Columbus, Ohio. So all these people that buy number 2 jerseys and they're all wearing them, you know how much money of that Dwayne sees?
None.
0. That's my problem. That's my problem with this. I think that these players should be compensated for people buying their jerseys and wearing them.
So here's my question. I'm bringing this up because it's happened down in Bama. Matter of fact, Nick Saban's first year down there is when they found out about this, where
What's up, babe?
the people were buying their books for him.
Yeah.
So he had when he found out, he had to suspend over half his team because they were ineligible, and had to vacate the first 6 wins.
Yeah.
And that was because all those players were not eligible. Now that's a heck of a hit. So okay, if you do pay them something, what's wrong with giving them, okay, this is what's how many jerseys we sold with your name on it, this is how much is in your bank, this can go towards your books. Because their books are not provided in their scholarship.
According to what Todd pointed out, they are.
No, they're not.
Okay, well, I guess we got a little disagreement on that. I kind of thought they were too.
Nope, because as I said, Nick Saban had to suspend over half his team because they got free books. His first year down in Alabama, which almost got him fired. By the way.
Right, exactly. You sure did. I remember that. So, yeah, that's a good point there, Diamondback. As far as that goes, I still feel like I've said before, my biggest problem is with the likeness. I think if Ohio State is making, in Alabama, whatever college, is making this kind of money off of their players, and fans are buying their stuff,
Right.
their jerseys, they ought to make money off it. And I know some players are going to go, wait a minute, what about me? I'm an offensive lineman. No one's buying my jersey. Well, sorry, pal. The fact of the matter is, people are going to buy skill player position jerseys. It's just the way it is. Now, his parents might buy that jersey. I can guarantee you, if Spencer's lucky enough and one says Brian on the back of it, I'm buying it
Yeah.
in a heartbeat. And my son ain't getting a dime from it.
No, and you're going to have to pay full price for that.
Right, exactly. So that's the other part of that.
I'm pretty sure that would be against the NCAA infractions if they gave you a free jersey.
Yeah, exactly. And we don't want to get Ohio State in any trouble.
So, but no, I see the point. But here's my point to that. Back to that offensive lineman. Ball's tipped. Go get the ball.
Yeah,
Make
right.
a play.
Make a play.
Make a play. Get your name seen.
Right, exactly.
And somebody's going to go buy your jersey.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, that boy's a badass.
Right, exactly.
I want his jersey.
Right, right.
Oh, he got a tip ball and that fat man ran all the way down and scored a touchdown? I want his jersey.
And what if one of those Alabama players would have made a tackle on that kick in that kick six? His name would have been famous in Alabama history.
Oh, hell yeah.
So
And people would have wanted his jersey.
people would have bought that jersey. So
They were fat and they could not.
and they could not catch up with them. No, they did not. Hate to bring that up again, Diamondback.
Oh, that's all right.
No, I don't. Anyway, so, but no, I mean, I think that, like I said, my biggest problem is with the likeness thing. I feel like you're opening Pandora's box. If all of a sudden you say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start paying these student athletes. We're going to start giving them an extra 1,000 or so just as running money, to run around on. And the programs have this kind of money; they could do
The
this.
programs can. But as
But
you
you're
said,
opening that box.
You're opening that box. And now, after OSU basketball and OSU football, are you going to pay your OSU baseball players? Are you going to play their hockey players? They don't bring in that type of money. They don't bring that type of revenue.
Right.
And that's really not fair to them. And I think that's why the NCAA will probably never go to it. Yes, OSU and Alabama probably can afford that because of the profit afterwards. As you pointed out, Alabama made a $47 million profit, but they also probably put and bought another weight room down there.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know if you've seen the interview where Kirk Herbstreit did with Tua, the room that they were sitting in.
No, I didn't see that.
That is Tua's or the quarterback's prep room. That's
Wow.
where they play the videos of who they're getting ready to play, and they got all the games that they need to be able to fast forward through, slow down, do step by step. How can I get away from this guy? Boom. I mean, that's where they do their homework in that room, and that room is. I'm sorry, I'd like to go see a movie in there.
Yeah.
Are you playing Incredibles 2? I'll buy a ticket.
Wow. So, yeah, I just, like I said, I've always had an issue with the whole likeness part of this, and I just know that, the universities are benefiting off of the players' likenesses as well as video games.
Right.
I mean, that's another whole segment of thing as well. Video games, I mean, if you play these college video games, the guys look just like the guys you see on Saturday afternoon.
Well, the thing is,
and they're not getting paid for it.
In the past, they would take number 7 Ohio State. That would be the jersey, but they would not call him Haskins.
Yeah.
They would call him Maskins. They would change the name just a little bit.
Right.
Well, you still know who they're talking about
Yes.
because it looks like him, and he's got his stats. And then the next player up, when you go and you play a season, or this was the way it was with the NCAA, with the EA Sports.
Mhm.
You play the next season, the top players that you would recruit from, that was their actual names.
Yeah.
So they 5-star people, you were actually recruiting these people, and these are high school students not getting their money from it. So
That's crazy.
it is crazy. So EA Sports or whoever will do the next NCAA thing, because they ended up shutting it down. They don't make the game right now, but they keep talking about bringing it back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like I said, I just wish they would get a piece of the pie as far as the likeness is concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if anybody's got any comments on this, give us a call. We're at 614-710-754. That is the hashtag Save the Crew phone line. This is our main topic tonight, outside of all the sports updates and everything we got going on. Got something else from Todd here. Players in college are not under contract. If rules change in the future that they are, then yes. Right now, because everyone thinks they deserve things for wearing a jersey or a player's number. The player, let's see if I can bring that up. Yep, there it is. The players choose to play for the team they did because of the school tradition and how the school made them feel during visits. Oh, that's true, Todd.
No,
However,
he's got a valid point.
However, this is their number, their likeness, and they, in my opinion, deserve to have a piece of that pie. Because, after all, they're the ones that are generating that for the university.
Yes.
People go to Ohio State games, part of the reason people go to Ohio State games, beyond the band, beyond the tradition, beyond watching an Ohio State game live, part of the reason that people go to watch Ohio State this year is Haskins.
Right.
He's a draw for the team. And people are buying his jerseys like they're going out of style. Just like I'm sure they're buying Tua jerseys down in Bama.
Oh, yeah, they're buying.
And Tua's not seeing a dime of that money either.
No. And matter of fact, he started being a Hawaiian, being one of the biggest Hawaiians on the field for college. I mean, there's several of them. Don't get me wrong. LSU actually had one, and they can't try to think of the other team that's got a Hawaiian. But they actually are selling Alabama Hawaiian shirts.
Nice.
I mean, it's like awesome. He's generating that revenue.
Yeah.
He's not getting any of that money either.
Right. They don't get a dime of this.
They
And I
don't
mean, yeah, these guys that we're talking about, they probably got a pretty good shot at being in the NFL. These two guys we're talking about.
Tua, as long as Tua can keep that knee healthy, Tua will start on Sundays.
Yeah. And I'm going to say the same thing about Haskins. I think he starts on Sundays for somebody.
So, I mean, this is a part of the reason I have the Julio Jones jersey for the Atlanta Falcons. You will never see me in a jersey from Alabama for this whole reason. Those players do not see that. And two, those players are only there 3 to 4 years.
And the only Buckeye jersey I have is one that just says Buckeyes across the back of it.
Right.
It's number 32. Whoever 32 happens to be every year.
You're wearing his jersey.
I'm wearing his jersey, but it doesn't say his name on it. It says Buckeyes across the back of it. I purposely bought it for that reason.
I mean, I guess you would, I guess I could go get a Mark Ingram jersey. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. Would you get a retro Archie Griffin jersey?
That's a possibility. Yeah.
I mean,
talking about guys that played in the past.
And their numbers are boom. But the thing is, I wouldn't, because of the whole thing. Is this person actually going to make it big? Archie Griffin, you will always hear his name because he's the only two-time winner.
And it takes me a while to buy even an NFL jersey with the Steelers, for example, of a guy's name on the back of it because free agency. Never know the guy's going to move on.
Right. As I said, the only reason I got Julio Jones was because he played for Alabama and he played for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, he might move on from the Falcons. Who knows? But that's the whole reason I got his jersey.
All right, folks, so when we get back from this next break, during this break, first of all, we're going to do the NASCAR update. We'll play Todd's commercial. We're going to play Diamondback's version of Todd's commercial. And we're going to have the Diamondback rant when we come back as well.
So, 614-781-0744. That's hashtag Save the True phone line.
Yes. So now it's time for the NASCAR update. And the NASCAR last week in Texas. Kevin Harvick won the race. He won all 4 stages. That's just for you, Diamondback.
He won the stage that matters. That's the race.
The next race is this Sunday on the 11th at 2:30 p.m. on NBC. Forgot to write down where that is. We'll check that.
Look that up.
Meanwhile, on points, Kevin Harvick is first. Then it's Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, my guy Chase Elliott, Eric Carmelo, and Clint Boyer.
It's a good thing I don't have to talk in this next break.
You're up right after this. Well, you play your little opener and you're up.
I need it. I was hoping this.
Oh man, what the hell? I'm fine. I don't feel bad at all, but this just hits me like crazy. I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry, Facebook world. I'm feeling good. I don't know what's wrong today. It's overheated, I guess. Take my sweatshirt off for a little while. Cool off. Oh. There we go. Maybe cool off a little bit helps. Oh. It's Todd. It's a family man.
Am I on?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the Diamondback, and this, no, Mike's not on. There we go. I'm the Diamondback.
I thought you were going to do your opener. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, no.
No opener.
No opener.
No opener this week.
No opener this week. I'm actually just going to go right straight into it.
All right, here's the rant. Go ahead.
I'm going to go into to my rant, and that's the reason I'm not playing my opener. Why? Got to actually go and look up some copyright infringements. We got nailed with a couple of dings from YouTube with there. And one of the emails I got was because I played Thunderstruck, the actual version of Thunderstruck. I've played it before. We've played it before.
I played it too.
Matt, and you've actually played it tonight. So we'll see if we actually get dinged on it.
God.
So I got to actually figure out how to do that. So that's what my rant's actually about. Try not to use the whole song. We're not using it to make money here. We're just doing it. We're part of a radio station, right? And it's not there. So other than that, that's pretty much going to be my rant. There's a little mini rant there. It's just kind of aggravating, but I will figure it out, and I will be back with my actual rant next week.
So that's it?
That's it. That's really all I got. Just a statement.
Well, let me get my...
That was the Diamondback statement.
Let me get my cans back on so I can look professional.
Look professional? Oh, okay.
So why don't you give us that Cavs update before we move on?
Cavs. Well, first off, the Can-Am 500 is the race this week at ISM Raceway.
Yep, thank you for that.
No idea.
Finish off the NASCAR update for me there. Appreciate that, Diamondback.
So you had that.
You know.
It is the fourth quarter. 10:33 left in it. 76-67 in favor of the Thunder.
Yes. All right. So maybe another Cleveland team. Maybe another Cleveland team going down in flames. So anyway, and we mentioned it earlier in case y'all missed it. The Ohio State men's basketball team rolled into Cincinnati and won tonight, 64-56. So as far as your rant's concerned, Diamondback, it is your statement, your Diamondback statement, if you will. It is somewhat irritating. Because, I mean, we're just here having fun, you know? We're learning, and we're asking for advice from everybody as we move along. Obviously, I want to go into this as a career. So, and you're just kind of doing it for fun and helping me out, especially from the IT perspective. But it is somewhat irritating to go back and watch yourself on Facebook and see yourself dancing around in a mask on your face, and no one can hear Ghostbusters in the background because they've decided to mute my Facebook page while we're playing Ghostbusters.
I didn't get an email for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, well, that was just on Facebook. They might not have done it on YouTube.
I did not get a mute for that on YouTube. I got they just denied my. They let us go live, but they did not let us have it later. So I was like really disappointed with that.
Yeah.
Thunderstruck, because I actually used the actual song. I didn't use the Steve and Seagal's version of that.
Yeah.
But I am going to be looking into copyright, and I'm also going to look into non-copyright material to actually use for my music.
I have heard that if you say before a song, I do not own the rights to this music, that you get away with playing it.
I don't know how true that is. I'll have to actually look into that. SME, Sony Music Entertainment, was the ones that hit me with the Thunderstruck, and Warner Music Group. I got is the other one that I got, and I keep trying to think of the song that you played. It was a good song too, good for Halloween night song, and I cannot remember what that one was.
Right, I don't remember what I played either, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I mean, I just think that, I think I played a song by Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dragula by Rob Zombie. Was that not it? Was the one before that? I mean, I didn't go back and check in my notes, but I think that, I mean, yeah, I enjoyed playing that Zombie song, man. I love him. He's awesome. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think that we should be able to play whatever, especially if we're not playing a whole song.
And
we should be able to just introduce a segment with a song and not get in trouble for it.
As long as we're not using the whole song.
I mean, I'm going to play an Aussie song here in a few minutes, so part of an Aussie song, we might get it again.
I hope not. I mean,
so we're about to find out. We'll see what happens.
With YouTube, I am going to say this. With YouTube, if you get 3 strikes against you, they will never allow you to monetize your channel.
Yeah.
They actually take that completely away from you.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
It's definitely something that we have to be very careful with, because eventually we do want to be trying to make some money with this.
Right, exactly. So perhaps we should bring up that Van Halen song instead, because we've gotten away with that every week. I can just mention.
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually shocked that we haven't got hit with your, the song you love playing in the opening there.
Yeah, that's a good song by Van Halen, no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's
so that people tuning into, you mean Aerosmith song?
Yeah.
People tuning into the show right now are just like going, these guys are supposed to be talking about sports. They're talking about music. What's going on?
Well, as I said, I didn't really have a rant for this week. Both my Falcons and my Crimson Tide won, and Crimson Tide won big. The Falcons actually looked good, so I don't really have a rant.
Yeah, sometimes losing causes more of a rant. Ever notice that?
Yes.
When your team gets beat, one of my best rants still was when the Bears beat the Steelers last year.
I even said after the Alabama game at LSU, I was like, I might not have a rant. And I was like, well, what if the Falcons lose?
Yeah.
Now, you know what? I'm still in a good mood.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, folks, this has been the Diamondback rant, as it was. Coming up after this next commercial, I'm going to play Todd's Barbershop commercial, my edition of it. And then, as we just talked about, get into a little Van Halen as we introduce the iconic True
Which
rant.
we like to say, we do not own the rights.
If we have to say that now, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
But anyway.
It's just a little bit of the song, not all of it.
Yeah, right. So here we go, Todd's Barbershop. Best place to get your haircut. Who's that? Haircut. Todd's Barbershop.
For other sports and TVs, everyone gives their opinion on sports. Sometimes even topics from the iconic group and cast characters.
Need to change that.
You really got to update that.
You will.
No, you got to keep that. Because that's your version.
Located at 3867 Lavender Street, Hilliard,
Ohio,
part of
downtown
Hilliard,
Hilliard.
near Columbus.
It's Ohio.
Hours are Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Why?
Thursday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then on Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Closed on Sunday and Monday.
Because Todd is a family man.
So if you need
You're
a
welcome,
haircut,
Todd.
Witchy woman.
Huh?
Witchy woman.
Oh, that's right. That was a great song, too. Todd just put a family man in parentheses with a big smiley face after it. I do like this opening, but I wanted to play
I do too.
I wanted to play the Ozzy song you'll know why here in a minute. Oh well.
That's fine. We do not own the rights to this music.
We've never gotten in trouble for this song. I love this part right here. When Eddie just really kicks it in, oh my God, that is sweet. Oh, that's beautiful. Welcome back, everybody, to the Ferocious Money Productions presents the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show. We're on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine. Also, we are on my Facebook page, along with all over the place on YouTube. And tonight,
Maybe.
I wanted to play the beginning of Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that song. If not, check it out after the show. And notice I said after the show. Check it out after the show, and you can see what that's all about. But it's time for my rant right now. Let me set up the rant first before I go into it. There's a line in the Ozzy Osbourne song Crazy Train where he says, crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate. So my rant tonight is about people fighting and doing other stupid things at sporting events because somebody's wearing a different color jersey than you. I mean, come on, people, grow up. For crying out loud, I don't care if they're wearing a meat chicken jersey, they don't deserve a punch to the face or a snowball to the back of their head. The fact of the matter is, everybody has a right to root for whatever team they want to root for, even if they're making a stupid decision. The fact of the matter is, we're all still humans. It's time to live like we're humans. Quit fighting over stupid things like the color of somebody's jersey. That is the most freaking ridiculous thing for you to ever fight about. I've seen all kinds of examples of this all over Facebook. There was one a couple weeks ago where a Titans fan punches a Jags fan right in the face. They're just sitting there talking during the game, all of a sudden he just gets up and punches them. For no reason at all, other than the fact that the guy's wearing a different color jersey than him. People, this is stupid. There's another example last fall during the playoffs, I guess it was in the winter, where the Minnesota Vikings were playing at the Eagles, and the Vikings fans got pelted with snow because they were wearing a different color jersey. This is freaking ridiculous, people. Come on, grow up, quit acting like a bunch of morons. Football and any other sport is not worth fighting over or doing any other stupid thing. The fact of the matter is, just because somebody roots for a different team than you doesn't mean you have the right to punch them right in the face or do anything else that's stupid like that. It's just a game. At the end of the day, if your team loses or wins, it doesn't add any value to your life or any value to their life. So leave them alone, let them go to the game and enjoy the game, and hopefully, and since you're rooting for your team, hopefully they'll suffer by their team losing. That should be the only suffering they have to do, or the only suffering you have to do. There should be no punches thrown, snowballs flying through the air, or anything else going on. People need to, as Ozzy says, to learn how to love and forget how to hate. Okay, Diamondback, you're in.
Wow. No, I hate having to agree with you, but I do.
Of course you do.
But I do in this case. Look, we're becoming a society, and we're supposed to become a society of loving each other because of the way these millennials are. I'm hurt over that. I'm hurt over this. And I'm going to throw millennials under the bus on this because they're the ones actually bringing the hatred out.
Yeah.
I really do believe that.
These two guys I saw in what I was talking about in this Facebook post, they were in their 50s easily, both of them.
Well, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm getting at is we're seeing hatred not only over this stupid stuff, and fighting over sports is the stupidest thing you can fight over.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, the second thing you can fight over that's stupid, politics.
Yeah.
No, just because
Well, again, somebody's got
somebody
different color
hat. You know,
Yeah.
they're wearing a red "Make America Great Again." Doesn't mean I need to go up and punch them in the face because I disagree with them.
Right.
It should not be that. It
Go
should be
vote.
like,
Go vote instead and cancel
That's
out
how-
your vote.
That's the key to this.
Right.
Okay, it's who can drum up the most votes.
Yeah.
Boom. But But yeah, sports is the number one stupidest thing you could fight about.
And I've been to games on the road. I used to go with a group down to Cincinnati when the Steelers would play down there, and for the most part, the Bengals fans were cordial, were nice. You know, they didn't act like idiots. I saw some fights in the stands and things like that, but who knows? Maybe things are said. Don't get me wrong.
Hopefully that's because somebody spilled a beer by accident,
Yeah.
and the guy didn't know how to take an apology. Well, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you get a beer spilled on you. I understand that can be a little frustrating. It still doesn't give you the right to punch someone in the face.
No. But fighting because you're a Buckeye fan, I'm an Alabama fan, that is the stupidest thing.
Yes.
I'm going to hit you with hard facts.
Yeah, well,
You're going to hit me with hard facts.
We're going to have an opinion show and decide which one's better, and they're going to prove it on the field.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, like I said in my rant, in my opinion, the only suffering a fan should do is that their team lost.
Right.
Or that maybe their favorite player got hurt. It shouldn't be about, oh, I got punched in the face and I'm now in the hospital because someone kicked my ass because I wear a different color jersey than they do.
Look,
That's stupid.
I'm going to put it, but I mean, you all sit there and want to say rednecks are stupid and everything else like that. They're the ones that have the hatred. But you know what? I'm going to put this in the hands of a redneck right now, and I'm going to talk about a Rusty Wallace fan. When Dylan Hurt hit the wall. When he hit the wall, this fan sits there and said he cheered when he hit the wall, seen him hit the wall. He cried when he found out he passed away.
Right, and as a Jeff Gordon fan, I did the same thing.
And that just puts it in perspective. Yeah, you hate the guy, but you don't want to see him dead.
Yeah, come on.
You hate this guy because he's wearing a Cleveland Brown jersey, but you don't really hate the guy. You hate the team.
Right. Just because somebody wears a different color than you does not mean you should hit them.
That makes it that much better. Okay, you went to their stadium. You went to the Cleveland Brown Stadium, and you got to watch Pittsburgh whomp all over them. Now, granted, you went to Cleveland and they tied, but yeah,
That was a loss for the Steelers.
Anyways, yeah, you got to give him credit for that one. But no, nevertheless, it's just like a Cleveland Brown fan. They came to your stadium. They watched their team lose. Let them leave with the dignity of at least they got another game.
Like I said, the only suffering they should have as they walk out that stadium is that they lost.
Right.
Now, if you wanna talk trash, and if you want to, I mean, I was in attendance at the game between Ohio State and Meat Chicken when Ohio State was number 1 and Meat Chicken was number 2 in the country. It was the year that Ohio State went on to lose to Florida for the national title.
Against
the Urban Meyer-led Florida Gators, as I point out. But they went on to lose that game, but I was at the game where they were 1 and 2 in the country. Well, we sat under the scoreboard, and as anybody knows who's been in the horseshoe at Ohio Stadium, if you sit underneath the scoreboard in the horseshoe, you're right next to the visiting section. Well, we talked trash throughout the entire game back and forth. That game went back and forth. Ohio State won like 43-38 or something like that.
Yeah.
It went back and forth all game long. They led, we led, it went back and forth all game. We're talking trash. There were no punches thrown.
It's fun to talk trash.
Right, trash is fine. I don't have an issue with that. We talk trash all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we actually had a good banter going back and forth, and Killer decided he wanted to call in and break it up because he thought I was going to come across the desk at you.
Right, exactly.
But he, and that's how long our friendship's been around. We can get to each other's goat without hurting the other one's feelings.
Right, exactly.
Until it takes tape.
Exactly. So I mean, like I said, I mean that's my biggest thing is just,
Hey, Ricky's in the house.
We
had a Oregon cycle.
It's only a game, folks. At the end of the day, if your team loses, so what? Life goes on.
It does.
Your life is no different after your team wins or if they lose. It's entertainment.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're entertainment. That's all we are, is entertainment.
If nothing to ourselves, but yeah, we're
Right.
entertainment.
And sometimes just to ourselves, which is absolutely fine. Diamondback and I have been doing this for the last Diamondback and I have been doing this for the last 20 years. Just talking on the phone about sports.
On sports. Had a
So,
few people say, hey, you should
Now
do
we
that.
talk once a week because Diamondback doesn't return my calls or text, especially regarding
Buy the cookie.
cookies at Shades.
Shakes. Gotta have the cookie at Shakes.
So, I mean, for crying out loud, Diamondback, he'll leave me hanging. I get no cookie. Of course, I did figure out it was the cookie.
But you were full.
No, I was full, and I didn't order it, and Carrie didn't want it at that point anyway. So, by the way, her new nickname, Incognito. Incognito. Yeah.
Well, it looks like Killer.
And she's not on my page right now, so I can say that, Incognito.
Killer has come up for a nickname for Laura for me just now, saying better half of Diamondback.
Better half of Diamondback.
Oh,
I like it.
I like it too.
So she could be the better half of Iconic Drew. Maybe. I don't want to copy off you too much. Never mind. Forget that. But yeah, I guess we've kind of killed this topic. I mean,
Laura says I don't return her calls either.
And
I very rarely.
I will say this. If you're at a hockey game and fighting's allowed in hockey, we talked about this.
Yes.
Now on the ice, fighting's allowed.
On the ice.
So if you're at a hockey game, and this has happened to me, and you're sitting next to a fan of the other team, and a fight breaks out on the ice, you know what me and this guy did? We both looked at each other after the fight was over and went, pretty good fight by both, huh? And he's like, yeah, pretty good draw there, you know? And,
now here's
you know,
the thing.
neither one of us were throwing punches at each other. I don't like to fight, you know? But for crying out loud, just fighting over the color of a jersey. But anyway, go ahead, Diamondback, you're going to say.
So if the four guys are fighting and the goalies decide to go at it, are you going to go at it with this guy in his hand?
I'm not. But
I want to watch the fights.
Yeah, I want to watch the fights on the ice. You know, I mean, we're looking at each other during the fight and just kind of, just like, hey, but, I mean, hey, this guy, and I've been talking to him the whole game, so that kind of helped out. This game was against Buffalo, I remember specifically. And he drove from Buffalo to Columbus to go to this game. And that's dedication for a fan. He doesn't deserve any other, and Columbus did win that night, by the way. He doesn't deserve any other bad feeling as he's driving back to Buffalo other than his team lost. He doesn't deserve to get a punch in the face because he came from Buffalo. You know? Come on.
Kind of a short guy, well, not really short, but kind of balding, go by the name of the shoe.
No.
Okay.
But anyway, so let's get to the National Football League. David, before we do that, has some comments about college football.
What kind of question David got this time?
About college football. He says, I got Clemson number 1, Alabama, I guess, number 2, Notre Dame number 3, Michigan number 4, and Georgia number 5. Now, Dave, we have talked about all those teams tonight. I still think Alabama's the best team in the country. Clemson hasn't really. You talked about Bama not playing anybody last week. Clemson really hasn't played anybody. The ACC sucks.
No, that's what I'm going to go. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion.
Of course, and he's one of our loyal listeners. So
He is.
We like
I
him.
do appreciate.
I can't wait to meet David. So that's going to happen Sunday.
I do appreciate you chiming in there, David. But I really have to ask you. Do you really believe that? Think about that. Now, granted, up until this week, really, Alabama has played nobody. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, Texas A&M when they was ranked number 22.
Right.
Yeah, they played them.
Right.
Okay. But that was really it.
Yeah.
Did you not tune into any of that game? They basically showed LSU, this is a football, this is what you do with it. Then they let LSU march down the field and took it away from them.
Yeah.
And a nice little freaking interception.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to start with this. That's right.
So, I mean, I have to throw that out there, and it was a drumming. It was a complete drumming of LSU.
When you're the number 1 team in the country, excuse me, and you beat the number 3 team, 29-0
in their field,
on their field,
which is supposed to be one of the hardest places
Death
to
Valley.
play.
Tough place to play. Now, I'm going to give Bama all the credit in the world. This is why, as an Ohio State fan, deep down inside, I don't want to watch us play Bama this year. We don't match up with you. We don't have a chance in hell to win that game. Now, as you asked me before, Do I still want Ohio State to be on the field? Sure. Because you don't have a chance to win if you're not there. So, but I don't think Ohio State will be there. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think we upset Meat Chicken and Oklahoma gets in. That's my opinion.
And that's probably a good call. It really is. I'm going to say 43.3 seconds left in the fourth quarter, 94-86 in favor of the Thunder.
Oh, thank you for that update.
Yeah, I got it here.
Man, you threw that right in there.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right. When we get back from this next break, and during this break, we will play whatever we want to play. Some surprises for you. And we've done all the sports updates. So when we get back, we will do the National Football League. That's how quick we're just coming back here. I got to get commercial breaks down better. We're talking too long. That's okay. We still haven't gotten in trouble for this either. I freaking love this scream coming up here. So scared and all Here it comes. You ready? Welcome back, everybody, to the iconic Drew and DiamondBack Sports Opinion Show, a part of the Ferocious Bunny Productions presents. Hashtag Save the Crew phone line 614-781-0754. And also on WTMHradio.com, sponsored by Unplugged Magazine, along with my Facebook page and all over freaking YouTube. Why? Because we can, that's why. Because we are the iconic Drew and DiamondBack.
We are?
We are. So what's the score update on that Cavs game again?
Cavs game, let me bring it back up. We are 13.5 seconds out in the fourth quarter, 94-86.
Awesome. Go anyone playing the Cavs. And Ohio State wins as well at Cincinnati, the Ohio State men's basketball team, 64-56. A nice win there for the Buckeyes. So a great way to start their season. 1-0 officially. Last week's game, exhibition game, didn't even mention it in the opening because it was exhibition game. Didn't matter. Anyway, so let's get into this here. Let's talk about the National Football League, shall we?
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's one of our favorites. So, Des Bryant, wide receiver, signs with the Saints.
I hate the Saints.
I think you'd be happy to hear that, Diamondback. Le'Veon Bell, meanwhile, running back from my team, the Steelers. November 13 is the last day he can report in order to play on the tag this season. If he doesn't show by then, he cannot get paid or play in 2018. What do you think about that, Diamondback?
Well, I think he should just pull a Barry Sanders and just keep staying at home. I just don't like it.
I have to have this shirt on for this segment, everybody.
Okay.
Go Steelers. I'm not a homer. Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate that, Diamondback. We put my cans back on to look professional here. So, my opinion on the Le'Veon Bell situation is, first of all, can he help the Steelers get to the Super Bowl? Possibly. He is, and I'm all for Connor, don't get me wrong. But the thing about Bell is he's very versatile. He can also line up as a wide receiver. They really haven't done that yet with Connor. Connor has been a running back that catches the ball in the backfield. Le'Veon Bell can line up as a wide receiver. I'm not saying Connor can't. He just hasn't done it.
Who's Connor's backup?
What is his name? I cannot think of his name off the top of my head. I'm sorry. So we'll just have to forget about that.
Wow. Okay. But my question is, Le'Veon Bell can go in and cut some time down on how much Connor plays.
Well, yeah.
So that would give him some resting time.
And it would definitely save Connor as far as that goes.
Now,
and also, Bell's big thing is, if he comes back, does he need, if he gets hurt, he's screwed. But if he comes back and he shows off his talents again, then the other 31 teams in the league go, oh yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
We remember that guy.
Yeah, because he won't be with the Steelers next fall. That's
God,
positive.
That's that.
Yeah, that's a done deal.
He's done. He's.
Connor's the future in Pittsburgh for them at running back.
So they're gonna need to pick up somebody to give him some.
I think the guy's last name is Swickle or something like that. That's his backup.
Okay.
So anyway.
So, but I mean that's where my opinion is with that. I tell you the truth, I just hope he goes quietly into that good night.
Yes, David, we will definitely get to the Steelers-Panthers game tomorrow at 8:20 on Fox. Definitely looking forward to that game. It's going to be a huge game. But first, we have to talk about last week's games. I'm happy Des Bryant's going to the Saints. I can't believe how another weapon for my boy Drew, my guy, Drew Brees. That guy, I mean, you give Drew another weapon, and it's Des Bryant. It's huge. It's a big for the Saints. Big move. Diamondback doesn't like it because he is a Falcons fan, but I just looking at it from a football perspective, you're already talking about a top 5 quarterback in the league, and then you give him another weapon like that. It's amazing. And someday we should talk about who we think are the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. But anyway, before we get into that, and that could, man. And I've got do I have an interesting topic for us possibly next week? I think you'll like this. So, let's start with last Thursday. Raiders at the 49ers in a must-see matchup between the 1-6 Raiders at that time and the 1-7 49ers. Diamondback takes the Raiders, I take the Niners. The Niners win 34-3.
All I can say is wow.
That was amazing. This is how bad the Raiders are.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the Raiders.
And you know me, I didn't want to take that. I really didn't. But I have a hatred for the Niners too. And it's deeper than the Raiders.
Wow. So this was the debut for Nick Mullins at quarterback for the 49ers. And he just had
lights up.
An average day at the office. 262 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. This is the most productive debut for any quarterback in the NFL since the merger. Since the AFL, CFL, AFL, NFL
All I'm
merger.
going to say is he played against a dead man elected.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, and keep in mind the Raiders here, because we're going to compare them to another team here in a moment, Diamondback, after we're done with all these scores. So keep your, and I got a final, I just saw it there. You have a final on that Cavs game?
Oh, yeah.
I think I just saw it pop on my phone.
Thunder 95-86.
Yes! All right, go Thunder. So,
and that was against the lovely Cleveland Cavaliers.
This brings us back to Ohio's slogan. You know what the Ohio slogan is now? You can now afford a ticket to see the Cavs. Yeah. So,
wow. Let's
go to the Sunday games. The Bears are all over the Bills, and my nephew had to let me know about this earlier. Bears over the Bills, 41-9. We both take the Bears. Man, the Bills are just pathetic at best.
Atrocious.
Jordan Howard had 2 touchdowns in this game, and the Bears defense had 2 other touchdowns. So, the Bills are just bad.
3 syllables. Pathetic.
Yeah, that about sums it up for the Bills.
And 3 more syllables for the Las Vegas Raiders. Horrible.
So is this English lesson time? I know you hang out at school all day. You might be learning something.
Yeah, I'm learning. I've been learned.
He's been learned. All right.
I've been learned.
Yeah, the Chiefs beat the Browns 37-21. We both took the Chiefs in this game. This really wasn't anything against the Browns as much as it was a confirmation of the Chiefs.
Right.
And how good they are. I mean, this team is just unfreaking believable. Patrick Mahomes in this game went 22 of 32 for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kareem Hunt, meanwhile, added 17 carries for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. How do you stop this team?
Well,
if you're the other team, how do you defense for this team?
Or so magnificent.
Yeah, they are. How do you defense for this team? Or do you just try to outscore them? Is outscoring them the only way to beat the Chiefs? I mean, wow. They are amazing. They are. Magnificent, you're right. It's amazing. I watched this game and I was like, holy cow, what? How do you stop them? I don't think you can. Then we have the Dolphins against the Jets. Complete opposite of the other game. 13-6 Dolphins. They win. We both took the Dolphins. So we get to win there. But 13-6 in today's NFL, there were no offensive touchdowns scored in this game. No offensive touchdowns scored in this game. Linebacker Jerome Burker had a pick 6.
So basically the Big 12's defense came out.
Right. With 11 minutes to go. It was the only touchdown in the game. Overall, the Dolphins defense had 5 interceptions, and they sacked Darnold 4 times.
Wow.
So, I mean, Sam Darnold, the quarterback for the Jets. So if you paid to watch this game live, I almost feel bad for you. Other than maybe if you're a Dolphins fan, it might have been enjoyable. They do win, 13-6. Vikings beat the Lions 24-9. We both take the Vikings, so we both get that pick. And so the Vikings win 24-9 in this particular game. The Vikings sacked Stafford 10 times in this game. 2 games in a row where defense is showing up. 2 games in a row we got a little bit of defense going on.
Matt Stafford. Is he really their answer?
Well, see, and that's been debated. I was talking to a Bengals fan today at work. And we'll get to the Bengals game here in just a well, no, we won't. They had a bye last week. But he was mentioning how he loves Andy Dalton. He thinks Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. He said, and I said, well, don't you think Andy Dalton and Matt Stafford are about the same? He goes, it's a good point. And I said, well, let's think about this for a second. Andy Dalton and Matt Stafford. These are 2 guys who are very serviceable QBs. They can get you some wins. They might get you a couple losses, but they get you some wins. Are either of them franchise quarterbacks? They're certainly both on the edge of being franchise quarterbacks. But are either of them, and both of these teams have sold out on these guys being their quarterback for the future. So obviously the Lions and Bengals feel that Matthew Stafford and Andy Dalton are the answer for their teams.
These are 2 quarterbacks that they gotta step it up. I mean, Matt Ryan's got one more level to go.
Yeah.
To be, in my opinion.
Well, I think Matt Ryan's better than either of these 2 guys.
Right. These 2 need to step up to where Matt Ryan.
But I wouldn't put Matt Ryan in my top 10.
No. I'm not. I'm using Matt Ryan as an example.
Sure.
He is,
because he's not an obvious, and he's a franchise quarterback. Don't take this wrong.
Oh no.
But he's not an obvious. He's not a quarterback that if you're a fantasy football, he's not in your top 10. He's not one of the first guys you're thinking about drafting.
He would be my backup quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too.
If I was drafting a fantasy team.
Yes, for sure.
I definitely try to go after Drew Brees, Tom Brady,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, these are definitely the first ones that I'm definitely going to go after.
Yes.
The guy out of the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Sorry, his name's
Patrick Mahomes.
Thank you. So I mean, yeah, no. As I said, he's definitely the next step. That right. These 2 quarterbacks need to step up to that point.
Yeah, exactly. Because both of their franchises are sold out on them.
Right.
But neither of them are producing them playoff wins or getting them into Super Bowls. So, absolutely agreed. Falcons at the Redskins. Now here's a game that Diamondback gets to brag about a little bit.
Hoorah!
I took the Redskins.
Ha, Bob.
So, yeah, Bob, sorry, we lose. The Redskins, or the Redskins get beaten this game 38-14. Ouch. Matt Ryan, we were just speaking about, 261 yards. No, 26 of 38 for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Pretty nice day at the office for Mr. Ryan. And that's what I was saying about Ryan. What I was saying about Matt Ryan Diamondback is he's a quarterback that he knows going to step up. He can deliver for you. He's got some talent around him.
He's got some really great talent around him.
Yeah.
And I just wish he'd take that next step.
Yeah.
I mean, with this talent, he should be sitting there going, "You're not open. You're not open. You're open."
Yeah. Yeah.
I found everybody that's not, so that guy's got to be open.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that I like Matt Ryan. I always have. He's a great quarterback. Of course, I like your whole division. You know that, unless they're playing the Steelers. But you know,
they happen to do this year.
Right, which our divisions are playing this year, which we've already gotten through our game. Anyway, so, and the right team won that one. But moving on, speaking of a team in your division, well, of course you would. The Panthers and the Buccaneers, we both take the Panthers.
We both take Cam Newton.
Cam Newton wins 42-28. And speaking of Cam Newton, 18 of 25 for 247 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Christian McCaffrey, who's become quite a weapon for the Carolina Panthers, goes 157 yards for 2 touchdowns. So that sets up the matchup that we'll talk about, the first matchup for next week, because the next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers take care of the Baltimore Ravens, 23-16. In this game, I take the Steelers. Diamondback takes the Ravens. Why? Because he knew I was taking the Steelers.
Right.
Which makes this pick coming up interesting. But we'll get to that in a moment. So, in this particular game, Big Ben, my guy, Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdown passes. 2 touchdown passes, and he also ran for a touchdown as well. Now, you ever watch Big Ben run? It's fun to watch. He doesn't really run, he just kind of rumbles.
Kind of like a duck on us.
Yeah, it's funny, but he'd be in my top 10 in quarterbacks.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I know. And see, here's the funniest thing about Big Ben. People start talking about top 10 quarterbacks. You got to bring him up for the other person to go, "Oh, yeah, Big Ben. I remember him. Yeah, that guy in Pittsburgh. Yeah, that 2-time Super Bowl champ, future Hall of Fame quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger."
Yeah, nothing against Ben. I didn't mention him in the top players.
Well, you know what happens is you start talking about Brady and Rodgers and Brees, and I don't blame you. Those are the top 3 guys,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
After that, it might get a little muddy.
Exactly.
So, you know,
Prescott.
yeah, Dak Prescott. No, not so much. We're going to get into that here in a minute. Not to foreshadow too much, but it's what I do. Broncos over the Texans, 19-17. Actually, the Texans win this game, 19-17. I take the Broncos. Diamondback takes the Texans. Texans win. In this particular game, Deshaun Watson was 17-24 for 213 yards and 2 touchdowns. And in the next game, the Chargers and the Seahawks. I take the Chargers. Diamondback takes the Seahawks. Chargers win 25-17. The game was in Seattle, and the Chargers walk in there and win it. How good are the Chargers? Is this team better than we thought? Apparently they are.
Phillip Rivers. Here's another.
Yeah.
Quarterback that's right.
I would compare him to Matt Ryan.
Oh heck yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think they're the same.
They're on the same level. They're on the same level.
In this game, speaking of the aforementioned Phillip Rivers, 13-26 for 228 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then Melvin Gordon had 16 carries for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, not really a surprise there. And just to get this out of the way, I won the week in the NFL. You had 3 losses, I had 2. So, my Iconic Drew comes back with a win after losing the college pick'em. Next.
You lost what?
Coming back, roll tide. Coming back, Rams and Saints. This is another one of Diamondback's losses. He takes the Rams. I take the Saints. I figured the Rams are going to get a loss eventually, and it happens in New Orleans. It's a good place to pick up a loss.
And here's another question you asked: who can stop the Chiefs? Who can stop the Rams? The New Orleans Saints.
Right. And maybe it's the same answer. The Chiefs. Only time will tell. Could be an interesting Super Bowl matchup, Chiefs and Saints. Not predicting, just say it. Because I don't have my prediction yet. So
Good.
I got a homer pick for that. Anyway, in this particular game, we just talked about Drew Brees being a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Drew Brees was 25 of 36, 346 yards and 4 touchdowns? Seriously? Good Lord Almighty. Diamondback, I need you to do me a favor, bring up the Cowboys-Titans game from Monday night. And while you're doing that, and David, we'll talk about that Steelers-Panthers game here in just a few moments. I think you know who I'm picking. Anyway, while Diamondback's bringing that up, let's talk about the Patriots taking care of the Packers on Sunday night. Diamondback will probably take the other team because he always picks against the Steelers. The Patriots win 31-17. We both took the Pats in this game. And in this particular game, Tom Brady went 22 of 35 for 294 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Gordon, 5 catches for 130 yards and 1 touchdown. Bye-bye Browns, don't play on a good team. So, by the way, a little update here, Diamondback. You had 4 losses and I have 3. We both took the Cowboys on Monday night. They did lose. And what was that score?
Wait 1 second. It brought up the wrong week. I mean week 9, not week 10. And Titans 28-14.
28-14 Titans. That's right. I seem to remember that. So, in this particular game, the Titans win at the Cowboys. So, my question to you, Diamondback, at this point, which team do you think, your opinion, is better set for the future? For the future, America's team, self-proclaimed America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, or the soon-to-be Las Vegas Raiders?
The Las Vegas Raiders, they're not going to be ready for several years. Gruden's a great coach. If the owner can stay out of his way and let him do what he wants to do, he will turn that team around.
Well, speaking of owners,
And that's where I'm going.
okay, go
That's
ahead.
where I'm going. Now, I think I'd rather take the Raiders, their quarterback, over Dak Prescott.
Well, that's one problem for the Cowboys. The other problem is their coach is a puppet, essentially.
Yeah, their coach is a puppet. And this is what I heard, that Jerry Jones should reach out to Nick Saban. Nick Saban, who has free reign to do what he pretty much wants
Yeah,
with the team that he's with now
yeah,
and continue winning
yeah,
because he has crashed the SEC
yeah.
single-handedly.
Yes, of course.
Okay?
Let's take this back into college football. Go ahead,
No,
Diamondback.
I'm using this as an example.
I understand.
I'm using because this is what I heard. Going to go coach for the biggest person that can't get his hand off the team?
Yeah.
No, not
Right.
going to happen.
You know what Nick Saban's going to do? Nick Saban's going to retire from Alabama and walk away someday and be done with football. Be done with coaching. And why, we just talked about his salary earlier. Why would you go someplace else? And like you said, he's got free reign there. No. That's a stupid idea. Nick Saban's never going to leave Bama, especially to coach at Dallas.
Dallas, no.
I mean, come on. I mean, this is a team that's now 3-5, but they need to. I mean, it's just a matter of.
He might pick up for coach out of New Orleans. He might pick up for the coach out of Pittsburgh.
Man, if I was out of Pittsburgh.
No, I'm just saying. I'm using these guys as example.
Yeah.
If those guys would walk away, he's already got something built.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He's not going to want to rebuild again.
Right. So we were talking about franchise quarterbacks earlier. We're talking about
Right.
Matthew Stafford and Andrew, the guy at the Bengals.
Yeah.
I just lost his last name, man.
I almost said A.J. McCarron, but no, he's with the Raiders now. Dalton.
Thank you. I just think that's his first name. I better get his first name. Anyway, Andrew Dalton.
Right.
And we're talking about Matthew Stafford. And obviously, the Cowboys felt like he was their franchise guy. And it's not looking like that. So what do you do if you're the Cowboys? You scrap that whole thing and start over? You have one of the best running backs in the NFL, along with one of the best offensive lines in the league. But Zeke can only do so much. If your quarterback Prescott's running all over the place and not getting anything done. If you're the Cowboys, do you give up on their coach and their quarterback and start over?
No, I would.
I'm talking about America's team. They need to be better than this. They can't. You know, this
No, I mean,
mediocrity does not work for them.
No. They have not been contenders really since Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about number 48 driver for NASCAR.
And Jimmy Johnson, the main reason they were competitors with him is because he was allowed to buy the groceries, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is not letting that happen again. Jerry Jones's ego is as big as Texas.
We're talking Marge Schott of football.
Right.
There is no, I made that comparison to
Get
several
out of
other
the way. Jerry, get out of the way. And here's the other reason why, Diamondback, that the Raiders are in a better position. The players they've traded, Amari Cooper, and the other trades they've made. The guy of the Bears. They traded the defensive player to the Bears at the beginning of the year. So, anyway, those two trades gave them, they now have 5 first-round draft picks this year. Their own and 4 more they picked up through trades.
5 first round?
5 first-round picks.
And here I thought the L.A. Raiders were going to be on the clock, and for their whole first-round pick was going to pick.
So the Raiders have 5 first-round picks this year, including their own. The one they had originally. 4 other ones from trade. And a couple second-round picks they picked up too. So they can build through the draft, and all of a sudden, when they move to Vegas, whenever they move to Vegas, we still don't know, whether it's next season or the following season, whenever they move to Vegas, they've already got a coach in place, and then all of a sudden they have talent. Look out. Suddenly the Las Vegas Raiders, who's getting screwed in this whole deal? People of Oakland who are watching this team right now, because they're pathetic at the moment. So
2019, remember.
2019 is the official time. Okay.
That was a possible option.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, moving on from the Raiders-Cowboys comparison there, let's look at this week's top 10, if you would, in the NFL, the power rankings. They've got power ranks in the NFL now, too, so it's kind of cool. Number 10, the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Number 9, and I'll give their records as I'm giving that. The Eagles are 4-4. Interesting that they're at 10. Number 9, the Texans, who are, I've got that right here in front of me. Where are you guys at? They must have a bye week. Then we got the Bears at number 8. The Bears are 5-3. We have the Panthers, who are 6-2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at number 6, and they're 5-2-1. The Chargers are at number 5 at 6-2. The Chiefs are at number 4 at 8-1. The Patriots are at number 3, and they are at a bye week, so I don't have the record from you. No, I don't. 7-2. The Rams are at number 2, and the Rams are 8-1, and the New Orleans Saints are number 1. The Saints are at 7-1. Any shockers in that list for you there, Diamondback?
Not really.
There is for me, just one. I think the Chiefs are better than the Pats. I think they lost to them earlier in the year.
They did.
But on paper, and I know it's not played on paper, it's played inside television sets. We've talked about this ad nauseum. But I think that in my opinion, the Chiefs are a better team than the Pats. In fact, I think the Chiefs are a team that could compete for the Super Bowl this year. It might, depending on home field advantage. I think that'll be big for the Chiefs. It's tough to win in Foxborough during the playoffs. I'm a Steeler fan. I know this firsthand. So, speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, matchup between the Panthers, who are 6-2, and the Steelers, who are 5-2-1. This game's in Pittsburgh. It's tomorrow night on Fox, folks, at 8 o'clock. So, Diamondback, we know I have the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, your
That's
Steelers better win.
No brainer.
Your Steelers better win.
And who you got?
I'm taking your Steelers because I hate Scam Newton.
So, you're taking the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, I'm surprised. I thought you would go to. Well, I know you hate Scam Newton.
I hate Scam Newton.
Yeah, he's that kid. You talk about a quarterback.
He's
You talk
awesome.
about a quarterback that's awesome. He's talented.
Yeah, and he's almost on that verge to go into the top 10.
The only thing I can say is,
yeah.
I think Pittsburgh does have the better quarterback. I do feel that since it is home and our defense is starting to improve, that Pittsburgh will win. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a good game. Man, it better be a good game. It's the only NFL I'm going to see this weekend. Anyway, that's only true. That's what love will do to you, folks. The Lions are at 3-5, and they're at the Bears 5-3. This will start your 1 o'clock games on Sunday the 11th. By the way, before we go any further, Veterans Day celebrations this weekend around the NFL. And I know being a veteran yourself, David's taking the Panthers, by the way. Dave, we both took the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, there you go.
It's
It's going to be all kinds of flyovers, all kinds of dedications to the vets, the way it should be.
Well, Veterans Day is November 11th.
So it's perfect for the NFL to do this year on the 11th.
I hope they do well. I hope they do it upright for vets.
Right, me too. I agree. Lions at the Bears. Who you got?
Give me the Bears.
Yeah, me too. Saints at 7-1 at the Bengals 5-3. Who you got? I know you hate this matchup too.
They're at the Bengals.
Yep.
I'm still going to take the Saints.
All right, we both take the Saints.
But I'm going to root for Bengals all the way through that.
Well, of course you are. The 4-4 Falcons at the 2-6-1 Browns.
If they lose this game, they're thrown out of the league. I'm taking my Falcons.
Yeah, I'm taking your Falcons too. I think the Falcons do roll in there
I
and
will
win.
personally throw them out of the league.
Wow. So there you go. The 7-2 Patriots at the 4-4 Titans. Who you got, Diamondback? It's a good game.
I think this is going to be a good game.
Could
Because
be.
it's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Give me the Titans. I'm going to go against the curve on that.
We finally have one different. I took the Pats. I will be rooting for the Titans. I'm a Steeler fan. I hate the Pats.
Oh yeah.
Hate them. Always, well, not always have. Ever since Tom Brady and Bill Belichick rolled into town, I can't stand them. And why? Because they're good.
How do you get Bill Belichick to win? Taking him away from the Cleveland Browns.
Let them leave Cleveland. So, how do you get a franchise that was originally the Cleveland Browns to win Super Bowl? Go to Baltimore. So, wow, that's pretty ouchy right there for the Browns fans. Sorry.
Too soon? Too soon? No, it's not too soon.
It's not too soon. They've had this team. They've had a franchise now for 12 years, 13 years. It's been a long time since that happened. Okay. In a Titanic matchup of the week, the Jags, who are 3-5, at the Colts, who are 3-5. Both teams still alive for the playoffs. I had to
The
add
college playoffs, maybe. Wow.
Why? Because there's like 50 bowl games.
No, we're gonna take the home team.
Yeah, me too. I got the Colts.
They both suck. So take it home.
Right. If you learned nothing from me over the years, it's that. The 2-6 Cardinals get the pleasure of going to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the 8-1 Chiefs. Who you got in this game?
Wow. Wow. Gee, let me think on that. Can I get back to you next week on that one?
No.
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. So here's your DVR matchup of the week.
Oh, my God.
Actually, there's a better DVR matchup coming up later. But here's your DVR matchup of the day for Sunday. The Buffalo Bills, who are 2-7, to take on the New York Jets, who are 3-5. And who you got? Or excuse me, the Jets are 3-6.
3-6. And who's the home team? Jets?
The Jets are the home team.
Yeah, I thought that's what you said. Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me the Jets.
Yeah, me too. And then we have Bob's Redskins, who are now 5-3 thanks to your Falcons, going to play a team you love to hate, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Game's in Tampa. Tampa Bay's 3-5. Who you got?
Give me the Skins.
Yeah, me too. Got the Redskins this week. I think Bob's team gets a win, bounce back from the devastating loss to the Falcons. Sorry, Bob. We both took the Skins. I'm sure he took the Skins too. Then we open up the 4 o'clock games with a titanic matchup. Two teams that are going opposite directions. The 6-2 LA Chargers go to Oakland to play a team that used to play in LA. The Raiders are 1-7. Who you got?
Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was a no-brainer pick, even though they're the road
team. It really
team.
is. I contemplated the thought of the Raiders, but no.
Yeah.
That went away real quick.
The 5-4 Dolphins travel to the 3-4-1 Packers. Sorry, Steve. My bro. Who you got?
They're going up to the Packers. Did I hear you right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I will take the Packers.
Yeah, me too. I took the Pack. Yeah, I've been picking the Dolphins because of Kerry, but I think that the Packers rebound after two games on the road that were tough.
Yes.
The schedule makers didn't do them any favors. They had to go to the Rams and the Pats back to back. Thank you. What?
Somebody had. Hashtag Safety Crew phone line 614-781-0754.
Okay. The Seahawks, who are 4-4, go to the 8-1 Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Yep. The Cowboys, America's self-proclaimed America's team, 3-5. This is your Sunday evening matchup, folks. Go to the Eagles, who are 4-4. Excuse me, the defending Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles. Who you got?
Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, me too. And, we got one difference so far. And it's a game that I'm rooting for the team that you picked. So, here comes your Monday night Titanic matchup. Are you ready for this? Oh, Dre, I'm so sorry. This is the 1-7 New York Giants going up against the 2-7 49ers. Who you got?
Where's this being played?
San Fran.
Give me the Bay.
Yeah, me too. We only took one different this week. That kind of sucks. But anyway, it happens. So, and maybe with this new quarterback that the Niners have, I gotta look for the Giants to get crushed in this game. I hate to say it. Giants will get crushed. I don't even think it's close. I don't think it's worth looking at. So, I know the 49ers are 2-7.
Yeah, they're selling.
But the Giants are done.
The Giants are on the board.
Yeah. So, topics for next week. I had thought, and we'll dive back, we didn't get to one of our topics tonight.
Okay.
We did not get to the one and done rule versus the 3 and done rule.
Okay.
We also have an NFL topic we could talk about next week, and that is it's about the halfway point of a little bit past the halfway point of the NFL. We could debate about which conference is better this year, NFC or AFC. That Panthers Steelers games could go a long way towards defining that.
Yeah.
Those are two top teams in their respective conferences. Anyway, I think we need to go ahead and sign off so we can stop coughing on everybody.
Yeah, we are. Before we do, I would like to read or go on to this. They are set to move to Las Vegas in 2020. That is the actual official thing, because they do not have a place to play in 2019. Their lease in Oakland is over at the end of this year.
Oh, interesting.
So they actually do not have a place to play. So it will be the homeless Raiders next year, unless they can come up with something to play.
Coming to the horseshoe near you, it's the Raiders.
The Ohio Raiders.
The Ohio Raiders for 2 years.
For a year.
For a year.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something you would have thought they would have nailed down.
And it is the Raiders. Talk about a bunch of a vagabond team. They define that. This is a team that now has a coach that they traded at one time in the past.
They traded away.
And lost to him in the Super Bowl later on after trading him.
Which was fun.
It was. I mean, I was rooting for Tampa Bay, and I don't mind Oakland, but I was rooting for Tampa Bay in that game. Anyway, go ahead and say goodnight to everybody.
So, everybody, sorry we've been coughing this. So I'm just going to say good night. Have a good one. And as always, enjoy.
And this is the iconic Drew. And anything over and above the coughing that you can give me as advice, I appreciate, because I want to do this for a living someday. So, I, as the iconic Drew, will now say goodbye. It's one of the saddest moments of the week for me. But goodbye. We will see you next week. Same time, same bat channel, all that stuff. And remember, as I always say, everybody, at the end of my shorts, keep watching sports. See you next week.
Wow. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Ricky, I really appreciated you joining in. Love having an Oregon individual in there, as well as our Saskatchewan regular. And I have running water running in my ears. Nice. So, thank you all. We appreciate it. As always, enjoy.